they would.
When you ran out the healthy arms, you ran out of really healthy. They had great arms, but they ran out. It's called sports. It's called baseball in particular. Maga, maga, maga.
What? You need three things. You need people, you need information, and you need people with information.
Wow. 2,000 meals coming soon.
Heard that Saudi Arabia and Russia will repeat your.
Oh, so much show today, kids. So much show today. All right, almost there. Oh, that's rumble. All right, we're gonna get started. I gotta. There's so much to do.
And then roll out.
That's right.
Hydrosonic. I call it super super. Our army manned the air. It ran the ramparts. It took over the airports. It did everything it had to do. So we're going to get it going to a level that nobody can ever turn course on us. Nobody can ever change.
That's right. They can't. It's not possible. Oh my God. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the show. It's Hal Sparks, Megaworldwide. Hold on. Is my overhead light still on? I mean it kind of is, but what the heck? Well, I'll leave it. I don't care. It actually helped cut me out of the back screen, so I don't care. Hi. Hey, how's it going? Welcome to the show. Hi, chat room. Hit that like, share the show, everybody. Don't forget, we can subscribe. You know you can subscribe. Just 10 subscribers. That's all I'm asking. and then maybe I'll do a show. I don't know. I'm gonna hold out. I don't even know. I might even not do a show. I mean, I got it. It's a pretty. It's as the Hodge twins used to say before they lost their fucking minds. Got a damn good show. I think they still say that, but I don't give a shit now. Got a good show for y'all. Got a damn good show. Damn good show. What we used to mean we talked about creatine and gave people shitty relationship advice. Now we got a damn good show where each of us gives Donald Trump a rusty trombone. Oh. This is one of those shows it's a damn good show that if Mike Johnson watches it, it'll set off his porn app. Never forget the clear and most important goal of Donald Trump once in office.
We're going to be appointing very pro-crime judges.
All right. Yeah, well, that's. I mean, promises made, promises kept, I guess. All right. So, welcome to the show, everybody. Hit that like. I want a Trump watch. Or you want one of the ones that say rump? The rump watches? Did you guys see that? The misprinted rump watches. I don't know if I can. Yeah, there it is. So this hold on. This lady bought the thing. Where is it? Yeah. Scroll in. I gotta get a bigger, closer picture, close up of it. Yeah, there you go. These people bought Trump watches, and this guy bought a matching one for his wife. And you can see right here, the guy one says Trump right there, but this one, I guess the T fell off or something. So it just says rump. Sorry, assholes, no refunds. I don't know what you're complaining about. I mean, what's the difference between that and wearing sweatpants that say juicy on them? I guess. Yeah. So the rump watch, big seller right now. Big with the right wing. Big rump. A lot of big rumps actually in that regard. Iran has pulled out of the talks over their nuclear arsenal, and there's a lot of death to America stuff being yelled at the sky. Meanwhile, hold on. The big beautiful bill is taking a big giant shit, and I will show you in a minute. We'll test the waters on the mood, shall we? Let me just put it that way. We're gonna give you're gonna get a chance to see the flop sweat situation. But before that, I want to show you this awfulness that Trump pulled in the the president of South Africa was there, and it's less about I'll show you. Well, the video he played, although the White House put it on their own feed by itself. I don't know if you know about this. Yes, the big beautiful shit. Yeah, it was terrible. Just fucking terrible. But I want to let's be abundantly clear. There is a small factional group in that country which is having a hard time keeping it together these days, that is absolutely calling to wipe out white people or whatever. It is not the government that is elected. The land rule that they passed or whatever still has to pass the judiciary. You're still talking about like the reclamation of certain land, but not all of it, and yada yada. Anyways, I mean, this is what you're going to have at the end of an apartheid-like rule, and the remnant left over of it, period. That's why you don't let that shit get started in the first place. Lesson learned, eh? So, but he plays this video thing a bit. I don't know if you guys have seen much of it. He spends, it's really weird too, because he knows he's going to play this video. And I'll show you, like when he introduces you'll see. Like you have to look at everything he says in the beginning of this under the context, and I apologize right away because there'll be a lot of nunting in this. Cover your eyes. Maybe you could pull like a sock cap over your head. Maybe just only see this part, right? So he watch how he introduces him, And remember while he's doing it that he knows he's going to have these assholes wheel in a TV set and dim the lights and play a video in the room. Also, what is this gaudy fucking golden H.R. Geiger cum shot on the fucking mantle of the White House? Like, everything is this fucking sappy gold. Like, this is the only thing he brought back from the Middle East is like, we don't have enough gold laminated everything. Jesus. So, they sit down and... By the way, we're not going to watch all of this because it's an hour, but Ramaphosa, I have to say, handles himself very well.
Thank you very much, everyone. It's a great honor to be with the President of South Africa, President Ramaphosa, and he is a man who is certainly in some circles really respected, other circles a little bit less respected, like all of us, in all fairness, like all of us.
We all like that.
We also have a few of my friends. Ernie Els, a great golfer. He's a truly great golfer. Retief Goosen, who's an other really, we call him really a great golfer too, Ernie, right?
Yeah, we do. We call him really also a great golfer. When he walks by, that's how we speak words of him. We go, he's really a great golfer too, also. No one gives a shit, asshole. Golf isn't a sport. It's a leisurely afternoon activity for people with bad knees.
You guys are fantastic, and we could add Gary to the group, Gary Player. What a group
Yeah, no, I wouldn't do it.
of golfers South Africa's had.
Yes, yes.
There must be something in the water, right? It's
Yes.
something.
Yeah, great white sharks.
These two guys are
It's the
unbelievable.
water. It's the water, sir.
And Gary's Gary, and Dave,
That is true, though. Look, I got credit where credit is due. I mean, it's hard. It's hard to even grasp how one man could be so wrong and so right at the same time.
Frost, also another one that I
Yes.
know is such a great one.
Indeed.
Was he as good a putter as they say, David? He's a
No. He wasn't. Well, some say he was. I say he wasn't. I think most of us think he wasn't. Hold on, I've got to move this a little bit because there you go.
He's a putting machine, right? But he's another one. So something very good about South African golf, and golf is still doing great in South Africa. And they have young players I hear coming up that are going to be very good.
Good. That's what I was worried. I remember everybody was like, "What about AIDS?" And I was like, "Shh. Hey, what about the violence and the kind of the issues that they've had? How are the golfers?"
But it's an honor to have you here, and my friend, it's an honor to have you, one of the greatest businessmen in South Africa and long beyond. Thank you for being here.
And long beyond. And long beyond. Yikes.
Very great honor. Appreciate it. So we're going to be discussing certain things. As you know, we have the G20 is going to South Africa. When is that going to be?
In November.
In November.
Thereafter, I hand over to you. And
Yes, we have it next.
you originated the G20, so I'll hand over the baton to you,
right.
and then you lead the
That's
G20.
good. We're going to have
world.
it.
Yeah.
We're going to have it the following
Yeah.
year.
Yeah.
So we'll be discussing many things, and some of the things you've been reading about in the papers
Yes.
and the media. And I would say that
Why would we read the papers in the media? Isn't that fake news? It's a bit odd that you're suggesting that we would even believe any of that shit.
the president is a truly respected man in many, many circles, and in some circles he's considered a little controversial.
You mean Elon Musk's and Jason Miller's and and Stephen Miller's and Jessica Miller's?
But we're going to be discussing some of the things that are taking place in South Africa and see if we can help. And we want
See if we can help. Now, understand again, he's planning on wheeling out this fucking television set and playing this compilation video of videos he absolutely got off of Twitter.
to help. And we've had a long relationship with South.
Which is, by the way, can you imagine if you would? Let's say America's on the back foot. Africa, in the balance of the universe, is the powerful country. He comes to visit this guy, and they play a video of guys with tiki torches in Charlottesville going, Jews will not replace us. And that, like, and Elon Musk giving a Nazi salute, and the shape of the stage, the Odenrune shape of the stage of CPAC that looks like a symbol the Nazis wore on their collar. And just played a loop of videos like that for him. That's essentially what you're seeing.
Africa. I have, because indirectly I have so many friends that live there. I have a lot of friends. I mean, these are famous guys, but I have a lot of friends that live there that are tremendous people.
No, he doesn't.
And we'll be discussing that. We'll have a nice conversation, and I really appreciate that you guys came along. It really helps us in our thought process.
You mean the part where, why would these white guys come along with the president of South Africa and seem to be on his side if there's a white genocide going on? Oops.
But it is a great honor to have you, and I appreciate you called. He called. I don't know where he got my number, but I picked up. He said, I want to come over and see you. And that was my honor, and thank you very much for being here.
You're most welcome.
Thank you so much.
Well, thank you very much for welcoming us to this reformed White House. I've been here before, and it looks really fantastic. I must congratulate you.
Thank you.
But I also
on your gaudy, nouveau riche, bullshit, Miami, Coke Den aesthetic.
thank you for allowing our delegation. This is a very mixed delegation that you've got. We've got people from government, my ministers. I've got someone from the trade union movement who we really collaborate with, and from business as well, and our sporting legends. When I spoke to you, you said, yes, come along and bring Gary Player, bring any else, and Retief Goosen. I brought the two of them. Gary Player, I spoke to him, and he said, look, I'm getting rather on in my years, but wishes us luck in this discussion with you. So it's a real joy, and I'd also like to thank you for allowing your people to start discussions with us at the trade level. I mean, we are essentially here to reset the relationship between the United States and South Africa. We are
What a crazy notion.
long-standing partners in many, many ways. We've collaborated in many fields, in space issues, in energy, and in trade, and we therefore need to reset that, particularly in the light of some of the announcements that you made on trade and investment. So we want to advance more trade between the two of us, two countries, and our people
I guess BRICS fell apart.
now have been empowered by yourself and by myself to start engaging, and we hope that we will be able to fuel that engagement during our talks. And we also
Now keep in mind, while he's talking, look at Trump. Trump knows he's got this fucking video that he's going to, like, unleash on them.
to discuss issues that have to do with
They don't plan anything. Can I point this out? Trump's crowd doesn't plan shit. They're terrible at stuff. His Golden Dome stuff was 2 AI pictures with a label across the bottom. It was fucking pathetic. But and like, think of the Golden Dome. They want $25 billion seed money in the new budget, and then they ultimately it's $175 billion. The people in the Air Force and the military are saying it's going to cost somewhere between $500 billion to $1 trillion and take 10 years. But whatever. For that, what does he get? 2 fucking easels and 2 AI pictures printed out like they were made at Kinko's, right? For a school project. But to fuck with the president of South Africa, they edited a video together. They had a discussion about bring the TV in on the roller, have it ready to go, get it all queued up. Like, they put more planning into this than the Golden Dome rollout. Now, I think the Golden Dome rollout was rushed because Russia attacked, a satellite, a dead satellite in the sky to test its system for, its killer satellite system, and that freaked him out. And then somebody went, we need this thing, and he went, okay, and signed off on it.
how we promote further investments in both countries. We've got about 22 companies from South Africa that have invested in the US. That's creating a number of jobs. And similarly, you've got almost 600 companies that have invested in South Africa, and some of them have been in South Africa for more than 100 years. That's true. So our links.
Yeah, that's a bit problematic, though. I gotta say, I would rather kind of play up the businesses that have been involved in South Africa since the early 90s, since the late 80s at the latest. I mean, the people that were there over 100, it's like you have some textile industries that have been going on since, well, some of them stopped working in the mid 1800s, obviously, but
Are really long lasting, and we would like to recalibrate those relations between our two countries and discuss a whole range of issues, geopolitical, the work that you're doing to bring peace around the world, in Ukraine and in the Middle East. So we value that, and we are also a great contributor to peace processes that are going on around the world. And of course, we want to discuss how we can support each other. You are a much bigger economy than we are. We are just a tiny economy, but we rely on each other on a number of issues. We've got critical minerals that you want.
who's doing Donald's hair? He is. Sorry, racism and hold on. What is this bullshit? Racism in America is genetically inherited by the ancestors who left Europe, UK to go to South America, America aus 2, 3, 4. No, not at all. There's no genetically inherited racism in one group of people, dipshit. Because at that point, what that basically what you're saying is that you can't end racism as long as those kind of people exist. Therefore, genocide. So if you're going to call for a genocide someplace, please shoo. There are plenty of places on the internet to do it, but don't do it here. Fuck off.
To fuel the growth of your own economy and reindustrialize. So we have that on offer, including rare earth minerals. So all that combination.
Yeah, South Africa actually more than likely has more rare earth minerals, as it were, or accessible rare earth minerals than certainly most of Europe at the very least. I don't know. Maybe that's what this is. This is a big sales pitch. Oh, they need rare earths? Come on down here.
Of opportunity and the products that we buy from you, as well as what we sell to you, I believe makes up a really good and powerful relationship, which we need to strengthen, which we need to engender, and that is really what has brought us here. And we are really privileged to have, great South Africans in the mix. As you said, you'd like to see them as well. And I brought you a really fantastic golf book.
Oh, you had him at golf and you lost him at book. This is probably where it went south, isn't it? This is where he went, you know what? I wasn't going to roll the TV in, but once you said book.
18 kilograms. Oh, that sounds good. And it showcases the golf courses in our country. Johann Rupert wrote preface, so did Annie else. And I want
He's like, wait, it's got words in it?
to showcase our golf courses. You might remember when I spoke to you and we spoke about golf, you said I should start practicing. And I've started practicing, President, so I'm ready. But let me end just the introductory remarks by thanking you. You may not recall that 5 years ago I spoke to you during the COVID period.
Right.
And it was at a time when the whole world was going through a really cathartic moment.
Right.
And we asked for assistance, and you were able to assist us with respirators, and you kept
Ventilators, but sure.
word, and you delivered respirators to us. We didn't have as many in our country, and it really helped to help us deal with COVID. So I'm here also to say thank you and to thank the people of America for having helped us during a really difficult.
Also, for the record, the ventilators that they were sending out at first, when you're treating somebody with that kind of a lung infection, it can be a last resort kind of thing, and rushing to do it early on may have shortened people's lives or was worse on them, or in certain environments gave them a secondary infection when they were already on their heels. So the treatment via ventilators turned out not to be the primary way to deal with it. But ventilators are fantastic medical devices to have. So all these countries that did get them in this process, even though they became less useful for COVID, they have served a myriad of other purposes, like these, just getting ventilators to these countries, which is a very USAID kind of thing, saves thousands of lives all the fucking time. Right.
Being the small economy that we are, we needed help from around the world. And you were there to provide that. So thank you very much.
I remember the
for
call.
that. Yeah.
We
Thank
sent
you.
150 respirators. We became
Ventilators.
the respirator king. We started making them. Nobody had them. We had
Yes.
very few of them.
That's right.
But they were very helpful. But we sent 150, and
Yeah.
and I appreciated the letter. You wrote me a letter. And
That's right. Yeah.
Thank
yeah.
I
Well,
appreciate
thank you
that very much.
Thank you very much for that. It really touched my heart after I spoke to you and you delivered.
It's a great honor.
Thank you very much indeed. Yeah. Yeah.
Any questions, please?
Mr. President, you welcome white Afrikaner refugees here. Can you explain?
Okay, so right out of the gate, you brought a bunch of white Afrikaners here. This is a setup question. That's why they were loudest and first and right away, and he knew exactly where, like, Trump was like, any questions? Looking straight at the dude, right?
Americans why it's appropriate to welcome white Afrikaners here when other refugees like Afghans, Venezuelans, Haitians have all had their protective status revoked.
Well, this is a group, NBC, that is truly fake news. They ask a lot of questions in a very pointed way. They're not questions, they're statements. We've had
Okay, they knew NBC was going to ask the question. They knew ABC. Like, this is, of course, going to be one of the primary ones. And you can tell how they teed this up, essentially.
tremendous complaints about Africa, about other countries too, from people. They say there's a lot of bad things going on in Africa, and that's what
Yes, I'm sure, Stephen Miller, there's one thing in Africa that he really hates. I think it's the birth rate.
we'll be discussing today. When you say we don't take
That we'll be discussing today.
others, all you have to do is take a look at the southern border. We let 21 million people come
No, we didn't.
to our border, totally unchecked, totally unvetted. They came from all over the world. In many cases, they're criminals. They come from prisons. They come from mental institutions. They come from street gangs. They're drug dealers. So don't say that we didn't take them. We're trying to get them out as fast as we can. And we're doing record business on that. And we just won a big case. We're
Record business.
allowed to send back hundreds of criminals to Venezuela. Just won that today.
No, that case was you're allowed to rescind the temporary protected status. You can cut it short.
The Supreme Court, I'm happy to hear. But we do have a lot of
Yeah, notice he didn't say Congo, Martha Lynn, in the chat. Yeah.
people are very concerned with regard to South Africa, and that's really the purpose of the meeting, and we'll see how that turns out.
Oof. Yeah, it's a setup.
But we have many people that feel they're being persecuted, and they're coming to the United States. So we take from many locations if we feel there's persecution or genocide going on. And we had a lot of people. I must tell you, Mr. President, we have had a tremendous number of people, especially since they've seen this. Generally, they're white farmers, and they're fleeing South Africa, and it's a very sad thing to see. But I hope we can have an explanation of that, because I know you don't want that. It's a kind of a different meeting. Normally we have meetings, we talk about trade, and we'll be talking about trade and other things.
Yeah, this was a total setup. Like, this is food for MAGA. A black world leader, bring him in and shit talk him, pants him in front of the world. Because they think, actually, the Zelensky thing went so well, and he's a Jew, so, that's a B-level win for MAGA. But pantsing a black leader, obviously, to him, it's a big win in MAGA world.
That certainly will be a subject that comes up, yeah. Yes, please. Brian?
Look, by the way, look who's there. Yeah. Musk is here for this
Thank you
meeting.
very much. I'd like to get your thoughts on Letitia James. Director Polte, according to him, Letitia James says that the alleged mortgage fraud was simply a mistake. I want to get your thoughts on that. She put down that her father was her husband in order. And this is very similar to, I guess, the false attacks they had on you.
Well, I don't know what it is currently, but Letitia James, who's the Attorney General of New York State, it seemed, I'm not involved in that at all. I know it's being handled by various groups, I guess, but it's
being handled by various groups.
Fraud, mortgage documents, and fraud.
He just heard the word mortgage. He has no idea what the case is. Seriously. I mean, he just, like, he knows this much. Get her. That's it. I want to get to the point where they get back to
Scam the government. So,
this guy.
thank you very much. Yes.
Mr. President, what's the for you to be convinced that there's no genocide?
Please.
Thank you.
So he said, what will it take for you to be convinced that there's no genocide? And specifically in South Africa.
Mr. President, so May 25th will be the celebration of Africa Day, which pretty much a lot of celebration will be taking place around the world, including here in the United States. What is your message to the entire African continent, African people, in this important occasion?
Well, I want to see peace, and I want to see happiness. I want to see health, and you have incredible land. There's tremendous value. A lot of countries don't have that value in the land. The value you have, we have.
And who the fuck is this dude just nodding away? As soon as he said value in the land, this dude just starts like that. I think this is one of the business leaders that they brought with them.
Situation, I think you probably heard about it. We've done, through some very talented people, helped settle a war that's been raging for years, Rwanda and the Congo. And I think we've done it.
What?
Believe it or not, I think we've done it. And could you just say a few words about that, my friend?
Yes. A couple of weeks ago, the two parties signed a declaration of principles in which they've agreed on the way forward. And we're...
that's a deal then. In Trump world, that's a deal. They've signed a declaration of principles on a way forward. Okay.
Both submitted draft peace agreements, and we have put together one that incorporates both of their suggestions, and we've given it to them. So we're in the process of finalizing
Looking
this.
good, right?
Looking very good.
We have to thank you for even those efforts, because the African continent, particularly SADC, our Southern African Development Community, has for years been seeking to foster peace in the Democratic Republic of the Congo. So all efforts, including those from outside the continent and inside the continent, are really worthwhile. We are removing our troops from there so that peace can then prevail in that whole area. And we hope that with the support of the international community, we will really have peace in that area. It's so vital, it's so important for the whole region.
Well, we sent our people there, and I think we did a very good job. I said it by my friend, and that was great. That was great. I mean, I'm just hearing phenomenal reports, because all I've heard...
He just heard it right now. He doesn't know. He doesn't care. He does this all the time. And a lot of times what he'll do is repeat. You'll notice this when he'll ask somebody about something, like they're in charge of that because he knows this is part of the meeting. So like, that guy's in charge of Africa stuff. And they'll go, they'll bring up that part of it, and then he'll pitch it over to there. And that's one of their things they've rehearsed. But he doesn't know the details of it, doesn't care. And so he'll just repeat back some of the words that the person who said it, as if he's heard other reports at other times.
Death, and they're chopping heads off, and it's horrible over there. And it was really brave of you to go there, and I really appreciate it. And it looks like
He didn't paratroop in, motherfucker.
Have something very, very substantial. We also talked about trade with them in terms of rare earth and all, but really more for it's like, if you take a look at what we just did with Pakistan and India,
You didn't do anything.
Settled that whole thing, and I think I settled it through.
No, he didn't.
We're doing a big deal with India. We're doing a big deal with Pakistan. And I said, what do you...
No. The U.S. is doing a big deal with India, and your son is doing a big deal with Pakistan.
Is doing, somebody had to be the last one to shoot, but the shooting was...
That's the problem.
Worse and worse, bigger and bigger, deeper and deeper into the countries. And
We spoke to him, and I think I hate to say we got it settled, and then 2 days later, something
4 hours. It was 4 hours.
happens, and they say it's Trump's fault. But Pakistan.
No one thinks you had anything to do with it, dipshit. You're not that important. I just got my copy of The Atlantic today because I subscribed to it because of Jeffrey Goldberg. I was like, I'm going to put my money where my mouth is and subscribe to The Atlantic. And it's the one that on the cover it says, I run the country and the world. He fucking actually believes it.
And has got some excellent people and some really good, a great leader. And India is my friend, Modi. And he's a
Mutual friend?
Yeah, he's a great guy. And I called them both, and we just did something good. We're trying to settle Russia, Ukraine. We spoke with President Putin for 2.5 hours the day before yesterday. I think.
No, you didn't.
Had a lot of progress, but that's a bloodbath. 5,000 people are being killed a week. 5,000 soldiers a week, not including people in cities and towns that are also.
Well, yeah. Why would you?
Being killed. So we're trying to help.
Why would you include peoples who are being killed in cities and towns? I mean, who does that?
And it doesn't affect us. It's not our people. It's not our soldiers. It's Ukraine and it's Russia. But if we can save 5,000 souls, we'll do it. We're pretty good at it. But that's a bad situation.
You're pretty good at it. Apparently not. You're about to walk away. Well, 5,000 souls aren't worth it. This is too hard. You do realize the more he ratchets up this shit about the value of human life, the more when he walks away, it just points to the fact that he's a fucking liar.
That is a really bad situation.
Well, you'd recall when President Zelensky was coming to South Africa, that's when I spoke to you.
That's right.
We both agreed that we need to push the peace message so that there can really be peace. And we've been involved in the Ukraine-Russia conflict for quite a while through my Minister of State Security here. We've been dealing with them, the exchange of children who were taken away, going through names and addresses and all that. So we've been invested in that whole process as well. And the moves that you are making are fully supported by us because we would like to see the end of that war.
That's true. I called Zelensky and they said, he's in South Africa. I said, what the hell is he doing in South Africa?
He was talking to us.
We got to speak. I said, that's a strange one. I said, what are you doing in South Africa?
Yes.
That's a strange one.
He's trying to make peace. We're taking him. We were lucky because we had the great Nelson Mandela who taught us how to create peace, to make peace. So we were imparting some of those lessons.
I don't think Elon is buying this. It's pretty great watching. I don't know what I enjoy more, Trump just sounding like an uninformed dickhead surrounding by like everybody in the room, maybe not Hegseth and Vance, but everybody else in the room knows more about what's going on than they do, from the reporters to the South African contingent to whatever businessman. The fucking golfers know more about this topic than he does. So him just and the fact that his head looks so fucking small, it's such a weird thing. But in the meantime, him like embarrassing himself by just being stupid, and Elon Musk just grinding his fucking teeth.
To him some of those learnings, and I specifically mentioned to him that this is how Nelson Mandela taught us.
Look at him trying to just fucking.
When you want to have a peace in a country, do it on an unconditional basis and sit down and talk. And that's precisely what I'm sure he's going to heed.
Well, we're going to see what happens with that one. There's a lot of hatred.
Yeah.
There's a lot of
there is,
death.
yeah.
It's a bloodbath.
It is.
Unfortunately. I get the satellite pictures of that field, of that kill.
No, you don't. They're not satellite pictures. They're drone shots, stupid. You can see them on the fucking Telegram channels. Good God, man. If you see the satellite pictures, you can't even tell what's going on. Fuck me. He doesn't do his presidential daily brief, so he doesn't know. What he's talking about is shit that he scrolled by on his fucking Truth Social or Twitter feed.
Field. You never saw anything like it in your life. It's horrible.
Well, he's from South Africa. Yes, he has.
It's a horrible thing that it goes on, but I think we've made big progress.
Sir, on the
Yeah, please, go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. President. Gaza
No,
is
no,
another-
not you.
Is a bit-
Right here. He's from South Africa. Go ahead, please.
What are you expecting on the ICJ case? Are you expecting South Africa to drop that? Is that what you're trying to
On
reason?
which case?
The ICJ case against Israel?
Criminal justice.
International Criminal Court.
I don't expect anything, to be honest. I really don't. I don't know. It's
He doesn't know what they're fucking. He didn't even know. It doesn't matter. He doesn't care. He's not paying any attention to it. Like, he doesn't. He's like, South Africa's so small. Why does anybody fucking listen to him? Seriously.
they've got a case. There's a lot of anger there, tremendous anger. I don't expect anything. We'll see what happens. We'll have a ruling, and who knows what the ruling is going to mean. Yeah.
On that subject of Gaza, Mr. President, are you going to be speaking to Prime Minister Netanyahu about Israel's renewed offensive there? There's been a lot of concern from European countries. The Pope has expressed concern. Are you going to be asking Prime Minister Netanyahu to tone down the offensive in Gaza, to let more aid in?
Was that a question or a statement?
It's a question.
This guy's, you never change.
Mr. President, decide what will
Please.
it take for you to be convinced that there's no white genocide in South Africa?
Oh boy, here we go.
Well, I can answer that for President.
Ooh, oof. Uh-oh. Was this the Zelensky moment?
For him, no,
I'd
seriously.
rather have him answer.
Sure, I'd rather answer that. It will be.
My president will respond to you.
Yeah, let me-
Thank you, Mr. President.
It will take President Trump listening to the voices of South Africans, some of whom are his good friends, like those who are here.
The white golfers. We brought some white golfers to tell him that he's full of shit, because we know he doesn't listen to us. So, but we know he does listen to white golfers.
Have talks between us on around a quiet table. It will take President Trump to listen to them. I'm not going to be repeating what I've been saying. I would say if there was Afrikaner farmer genocide, I can bet you these three gentlemen would not be here, including my Minister of Agriculture. He would not be with me. So
No, I guess that's this guy. He's the Minister of Agriculture. Well, I mean, he might be afraid that you might kill him, I guess. Like, just because he is doesn't mean he's, yeah. But the golfers, I agree, sure.
take him, President Trump, listening to their stories, to their perspective.
And not using Grok, which will basically tell you, if you ask it what time it is, it will tell you 10 past white genocide in South Africa.
That is the
What kind of, should I wear stripes vertically or horizontally, considering my height? You should wear them, whatever color won't, that will not assist the white genocide in South Africa. What the fuck is this?
answer to your question.
But, Mr. President, I must say that we have, wait. We have thousands of stories talking about it.
Sure.
And we have documentaries, we have news stories.
Documentaries. He means this slapped together fucking montage.
And is Natalie here? Somebody here to turn that?
Yep, here it gets. They brought this thing in. This is him setting a fucking snare.
Show you a couple of things, and it has to be responded to.
Yeah, sure,
We
we'll
have,
do
let me see the articles, please.
Wait, who just put no whites, no monsters, no problems in my chat? Who did that? No whites, no problems, friends with monsters? You really think that? You really think that's how you should communicate with your fellow humans? That's a real thing? You think that's cute or sweet or helpful? Think that works? Good Lord.
If you would, and turn the lights down.
Turn the lights down low. I've got my shitty montage.
Turn the lights down, And just put this on. It's right behind you, Johan.
Johan, literally the guy turning the white genocide montage name on is named Johan. Haus and Fausa.
Can do with or without you. People are going to occupy land. We require no permission from you, from the president, from no one. We don't.
Okay, the president's trying to tell him, like, this is like a fucking. This is like showing a Klan rally or something in the United States and saying this is who runs the government. You know that, right? Like, they draw a crowd, but that's it. They're not part of the government. They're not, you know, certainly not now. Yeah.
We can do whatever you want to do. Who are you to tell us whether we can occupy land or not? We are going to occupy land.
Yes.
South Africa occupy land. That's who we are.
Honorable
Whatever I
member,
want to do, I can withdraw my membership from this useless parliament.
Honorable. Yes, honorable member.
Must never be scared to kill. A revolution demands that at some point there must be killing, because the killing is part of a revolutionary act. Shoot to kill. Yamasa. Kill the poor, the farmer. Kill the poor, the farmer.
Yeah, it's like, literally, this is like if the Skokie March was filmed, you know, the Nazis that marched through Skokie, and you're like, this is the U.S. government. This is what they're okay with. Like,
The mayor of DA in PE is a white man. So these people, when you want to hit them hard, go after a white man. They feel a terrible pain because you have touched a white man. Not because Mashaba and Soli will not be touched. They will be touched, don't worry.
yeah.
But we are starting with this one.
Oh my God. These black people are talking to other black people like we talk to white people. Uh-oh. I don't know if Trump is upset by this or jealous. Because say what you will about Trump's rallies, he never could get everybody to follow along in a chant. They did USA occasionally, but only when somebody would heckle.
We are cutting the throat of whiteness. Shoot, kill, Yamasa.
This guy was playing the hits, man. Every time they throw one of these rallies, he was doing the brr pa, shoot to kill. It was like the worst drill rap you've ever heard in your life. That's a good point, chat room. I would like to say this beats the shit out of the Epstein files. You know, I mean, you could have a screen up where they're showing, you know, Trump's party video with Epstein. I think that would probably work, right?
The poor, the farmer.
By the way, they're saying, I think the word bua, like boar, that white people are the boar, the pig, kill the pigs.
Shoot to kill. Kill the poor.
So this was a big hit. It was in the charts for like 3 weeks. You know, that's. It kind of faded. You know, the problem was he did that shitty acoustic version of it for Unplugged, and it just didn't keep it right. Didn't have the energy. Didn't have the vibrancy.
The poor, the farmer.
How many like people think, like Trump's people think that this is like the president of South Africa when he was younger, that this is video of him?
For the killing of white people, at least for now. I can't guarantee the future.
Yeah, but I mean, you'd understand somebody watching that, especially as it gets shared on Twitter. They freak out. It sounds like a genocidal.
But
Bulletproof.
See, this acoustic version doesn't really sell it. Pa, you know what I mean? Just doesn't. Yeah. Did Stephen Miller dig this up? This is all over fucking Twitter. These clips have been all over Twitter for fucking ever. They just slapped them together. It's like all from like an 8-week period. Yeah, so you just can't, you know what I mean? You can't get on the right hoof. You know, with the, the do-do-do had a kind of a oomph to it. But when it's la-di-da, you can't do the same dance. It just doesn't work. You know what I mean? It's just really wrecked the party, I gotta say. It's probably him shutting the party down. It's the remix. This is the remix. You don't think I'm gonna take any of this shit seriously, do you? You can deal with a serious issue without having to take every stupid nuance of this bullshit that Trump's putting on as serious. I'm not gonna entertain it like that. The translation is the really fun part, because like if a bunch of like hippie white people heard this, they'd be like, oh my god, this sounds, you know what this reminds me of? Like the background singers on a Paul Simon record. And the words are like, shoot the white people as they're running, throw their kids on the fire. Like, and you just see like these hippie people just leaning back and forth, in their Queers for Palestine shirt. This is so lovely. I love indigeny. I love the original stuff. This is the true, I'm getting the real stuff, man.
Who will expropriate land without compensation, whether they like it or not. If they object, they can seek refugee in America.
Well, okay, cool. Well, they did, and okay, fine. Hold on. So they play the rest of this shit, and then they show this thing, which is a road of Trump. Well, hold on. So they show this video, which is all these crosses along the street that represent white farmers or people who've been killed. So they stretched a bunch of them along this road of people that have been murdered. And I've talked to this before, but like Trump and his crowd are under the impression that black people are killing white farmers and going unpunished because the government is conducting a white genocide in the country. This is the narrative. When in reality, in these cases where black people have killed white farmers or what have you, it's the same as when black people kill other black people there. They don't have any of the resources, right? They can't hunt down any of these murders. They are behind the 8 ball. You were vibing to it when you thought of that bullshit about hippies. No, I agree. I both can be true.
Now this is very bad. This
is very bad. So, by the way, this was like a monument thing that they did, I think. I don't even know that it was in South Africa, so I'm not going to take him at his word. But the point is, Trump actually thinks the dead bodies are buried along the road. It's clear from what he's talking about that when these people are parked next to these crosses, he goes, that's not traffic. They're stopping there to pay their respects to people who are dead, right? And it's so fucking annoying. And he thinks, I think he really believes like the dead are buried along the road and they each have a cross because that's their actual grave.
Burial sites right here.
Right, yeah. He fucking thinks this. This is nuts. No, that's not what it was. It's not what he really believes that someplace in South Africa there is a road where there are dead white people graves all along the fucking road. And there isn't. Let's just state that right out of the gate. Like, this is fucking crazy.
Burial sites.
No. What the fuck? No. No. These are not burial sites, you dipshit.
Over 1,000 of white farmers, and those cars are lined up to pay love on a Sunday morning.
Pay love on a Sunday morning. That's what we like to do. I often will pay love on a Sunday morning. I think that's got to be Cat Stevens' worst song, Pay Love on a Sunday Morning.
Each one of those white things you see is a cross.
You better watch yourself, those white things.
And there's approximately 1,000 of them. They're all white farmers, the family of white farmers. And those cars aren't driving, they're stopped there to pay respects to their family member who's killed.
What, do they drive along until they see the name of their loved one? Fuck, hell. This is so bad.
And it's a terrible sight. I've never seen anything like it.
Nobody has, because you're not seeing it now, stupid.
Both sides of the road you have crosses.
Yeah, apparently these are the white farmers that didn't have any relatives then? What, no, okay, if you're on the left side of the road, that if you've got family, we'll bury you over here. If nobody knows, good God. This is so fucking weak. Hold on. It's known as the Montreal, look it up on Wikipedia. It's it's a memorialized murder of black and white people. Yeah, it's a memorial, right? This is what we know. But he thinks it's a fucking grave.
Those people were all killed.
The traffic was that bad?
Have they told you where that is, Mr. President? No, I'd like to know where that is, because this I've never seen. I don't. Okay.
I mean, it's in South Africa.
Sure. It's the south part of Africa, I think, maybe.
We need to find out.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe just know the name if you're going to present it as some sort of weird sideswipe evidence. How you are being accused of doing the stream and saying you're running for POTUS just to get money. What are you talking about? Okay. Are you saying that the live stream that I do 6 days a week, I'm doing for a living? Okay. That it's a job? That I actually work at it? Okay. I'm doing it for food. Does that make you feel better? And shelter and clothing. And I have a child. Look at fucking JD piling up some pictures. Here's some of the slaughter pictures you wanted to give him, Mr. President. This is, by the way, this is arguably exactly what they did with Zelensky. They just have they're just more props. Also, I am running for president, but I'm not asking for money yet. So until I'm officially running, what the fuck difference does it make? So stupid. But so yeah, I guess. Heard you're just doing your job to get paid. It's true. I have to confess, I'm doing my job to get paid. Yes, and even when I do art, I expect to get paid for my art because I work at it and make it good. But look at this shit. They just brought a bunch of props this time because it didn't work with Zelensky. So maybe we should add some video. Thank you, Alexa.
Mr. President, the Pentagon announced that it would be accepting a Qatari jet to be used as Air Force One. Perhaps
What are you talking about?
I'd like to.
Can we have a South Africa question? Mr. President,
The Pentagon's going first.
What does this have to do with?
What does this have to do with the fact that I am ambushing this man with a bunch of bullshit I saw on Twitter? Stop asking me about my obvious and outright graft. I just played. We put a video. We worked hard on this. I put a video together. I didn't. The staff did. Stephen Miller put a video together, and he was up all night editing it. You should see him this morning. He looks like I was about to say he looks dead, but he was like exhausted, but that's normal. He looks like normal this morning, which is terrible for him. And then JD Vance was at the photocopier all afternoon making a little picture book for me so that I could hold up this thing to make it look like it's not the same 7 things photocopied 19 different times, so it looks all thick, and so I can wave at him and tell him white genocide. And you come out of my special video and you ask him about a fucking plane. Stop it! What are you asking me about the stupid plane for? Asshole! I'm trying to embarrass a world leader here because he's black. Don't ask me about my clear and obvious bribe from a government that is aligned with Hamas. Shut up. I don't even know who asked that question, but it's fucking great. Just talking, absolutely like flicked him in the dick right as he was starting to get a semi, and then he lost his concentration. I was getting a rage boner, and now it's gone.
Tara jet. They're giving the United States Air Force a jet, okay? And it's a great thing.
No, they're not. The Air Force, a jet. Shut up.
We're talking about a lot of other things. It's NBC trying to get off the subject of what you just saw. You are a real, you're a terrible reporter. Number one,
you suck. Ruined my whole science. We worked all afternoon on this, and you blew it, jerk. Stop it. I don't know why that's funny. Shut up. I used all my credits in the copy machine for this. We had to go get quarters twice.
you don't have what it takes to be a reporter. You're not smart enough. But for you to go into a subject about a jet that was given to the United States Air Force, which was a very nice thing, they also gave $5.1 trillion worth of investment.
No, they didn't. You don't give investment. You would only put it in, I guess, if you expected you will be able to get that back or something better. Also, they didn't just give you $5.1 trillion. They said they're going to over a period of time, which they were already doing. So they just added up the number that they're currently at and said over the course of 10 years, it's going to be $5 trillion.
In addition to the jet, go back. You ought to go back to your studio at NBC because
the snacks are better. Because it doesn't smell like. Hold on. Where's my pointer on this? It doesn't smell like. Right.
Roberts and the people that run that place, they ought to be investigated. They are so terrible the way you run that network, and you're a disgrace. No more questions from me. Go ahead.
It could just say it like totally undermined his entire thing. It's kind of the best part of that whole thing. It's just like he set this thing up, and he's still going to pick up some more shit, and it's still embarrassing. And I think, like I said, the president Ramaphosa handles it very well, considering. Yeah.
Go ahead, talk about that.
Please, may we have a South African
His name
question,
is Peter
Mr.
something.
President
He's
Trump?
a terrible.
If they're committing genocide, why invite them to the White House? I'll be quiet.
There you go. Quiet. If they're committing genocide, why invite them to the White House? Quiet. I invite people who are committing genocide to the White House all the time. Quiet. You're going to make the Russians mad. I had planned on them. We were going to make s'mores. Quiet.
That's my question now.
Let's go.
Thank you so much, President Trump. Annika Larson from ENCA in South Africa. Thank you very much for hosting us.
Hi, I'm a white lady. I'm, as you can see, not currently dead. I flew on the plane over with these folks. None of them tried to murder me. Just context.
What would you like President Ramaphosa to do about the situation that we've just seen on the screen?
Great. Leadership, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know. I don't know. If you think there's really a genocide going on, I think the first answer would be stop. Right? just off the top of my head, if you actually believe what you just said, you'd go, I want him to stop. I want them to stop this law about the reclamation of land, and I think it's been weaponized and people are getting killed. And then he'll go, that's actually not what's happening. And then you go, you're fake news too. Why don't you go work at NBC? Fuck all of y'all. I'm going to go have a fish delight. That's how the meeting would end.
Don't know. Look, these are articles.
I don't know, but I got pictures. I got a picture book. A boo, bada boo.
Over the last few days, death of people.
Death of people over the last few days.
Death.
That's clip art. Sorry. That's
Death.
stock photo.
Horrible death.
Oh, okay, which is worse than regular death. But half the calories. So.
Death.
4 pictures of
But you know,
death. Death or traffic. I don't know. This rally. Sorry. Tomato prices are up. Death. Avocados. Death.
I think anyone, white South Africans are fleeing because of the violence and racist laws. And this is all
From NBC News? Is that you're reading that from what would be the news source on that? I mean, you like to go, who are you with? Who is that with? Is that, I mean, where'd you print that? Fucking Elon Musk's private Substack?
I'll give these to you. So when you
Oh yes, they'll all have a gift. Yes, thank you.
when you say what would I like to do, I don't know what to do. Look at this. White South African couple say that they were attacked violently.
They do? They were genocided? This is my account of how I and my family were exterminated. A true story told in real time. Yes. So you say that you and your husband were genocided? Yes, we were. Yes, we were both in traffic, and we were driving, and we were both genocided. Yes, we were both genocided. We had both had a nice lunch and a genocide, and then we ended up back at the house, and he's had a skin knee for weeks.
When will you go and see for yourself if it is?
Well, I could do that. Look, here's burial sites all over the place. These are all white farmers that are being buried.
President Trump.
Well, we can't just leave them everywhere. Yeah. Obviously, if a white farmer dies, you're going to bury him. You're not just going to leave them in the street or whatever. Well, that's why they just roll them over into a ditch and then cover them with dirt, put a white cross, and just keep on driving. This is all bullshit. Please, look, there's a serious issue to be dealt with here, and there's a serious issue in South Africa with their crime that they've had to deal with, and they have a power issue, and all. These are all very serious things. But I'm not going to take this dopey motherfucker seriously. I won't do it. I will not dishonor the dead and injured and disenfranchised by taking this fuckhead seriously in this situation. I'm not going to do it. Not ever.
He asks about a jet that was given.
My first question is about Afrikaans.
You ought to be ashamed of yourself. Maybe you could use the jet to evacuate some of the white farmers or some of their dirt. I don't know. How do I know you're a farmer? He's wearing galoshes. He's got a pitchfork.
You are so bad.
He's so mad. He's so fucking mad. It's great because they just Peter Jennings, high five, dude. You absolutely popped his party balloon. It's so good.
Such a bad reporter.
You're so bad. You're a bad reporter. You make everything bad. Everything you do is bad. I had a party and I was having my white genocide party and you ruined my white genocide party. And I went to blow out the candles, and you blew out 2 of them, and there was still 12 left, and I blew on them, and it wasn't all blown out, so you get part of my wish. You're a bad reporter. I gotta say, I'm really enjoying how pissed he is, and what a fucking dud this was because of that. This is embarrassing and terrible on its own, but it could have been a lot worse. Sorry, is Boston Brian waiting in the wings? Sorry. Because I think, hold on, let me see. Is he on, does he have our regular link? Oh, okay. Oh, it turned off. Sorry, I'll bring him in a second. Beg your pardon. Is he there? He said, I'm bringing him up. Hold on. Okay. Oh, it is already running. Okay, that's fine. I don't see him in there. So, is he coming soon? Hold on. I got to check my lovely Andrea's typing. There we go. He's on his way. Okay, great. Thank you. Okay, good. I'm ready for him. We're ready to go. Oh, there he is. Look at that. There we go. Okay. All right. It's already there. He is, ladies and gentlemen. Hold on one second. I don't know why this is like 2 versions of Ecamm or some shit. I'll throw this in here and hold on. Go back to solo, you silly thing. Okay, hold on. I got to restart this because it's being weird. I'll be right with you, Boston Brian. Give me 1 second because I was so worried about you. There you go. Hold on. It's always something. There we go. Oink. I don't blame Boston Brian, but I appreciate him being here. There we go. All right, now he's up. I had 2 versions of Ecamm up and running, and it was just wrong. It's not done, ladies and gentlemen. It's just not done. Also, he's got a green screen up, so I have to change the background. Otherwise, other people will put very untoward green screen things behind him without his permission, and I can't allow for that to happen. I'm not going to do it. I would be too tempted myself to even do that. So let's go to this guy. Oh, again, we got to raise the fade level on that. There you go. That'll be nice. This looks okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen, joining us right now, a special surprise guest, our dear friend Boston Brian. There he is. Ladies and gentlemen, how you doing, brother?
I'm all right. How are you, my man?
I'm spectacular. We were just watching this fucking South Africa shit that happened in the White House and watching Peter Jennings just sweep the leg and kick Trump in the lower testicle. By just ruin his whole white genocide party.
I love how the guy was like, you know what? How can I suck up to Trump the most? How can I make this situation better? Do we know 3 white South African golfers we can bring?
Oh yeah. Well, Trump asked him to bring him or something, or invited them along, and I was like, what's he gonna do? Evacuate them too? And then it starts out with this whole it's terrible and there's a white genocide going on. But the young golfers are really doing great. It's so fucking weird. Yes.
He's practiced.
Right, yes.
But how are you, my friend? How's everything?
It's good. It's good. I'm enjoying
I can't see you, but I bet you look beautiful.
Oh, sorry. Wait. Sorry. We're all there you go. Bink. How about that?
There you go.
Yeah.
Hi,
it popped up in the other. Hi, there we go. Look at us. How you doing? What's happening, my man?
Well, I'm sorry to crash the show. I really am, but
I'm not sorry.
I wanted to come in and say hi, and I feel like it's been a while since I've seen you and you in the sparklers, and I feel like it's about time. Big things happening in the future. I don't know if you've heard, but I've committed to relinquishing my plumbing career to move to California and do this full time. To make this, I'll be your colleague, I guess you could say, hopefully now. So I'll see if I can slip into the 35 seconds a week that you're not.
Right. Well, the nice thing about that is we'll be in the same time zone, so I could just throw to you directly. You and I can coordinate a bunch of shit that way. Then we don't have to worry about what time is it where you are? What time is it where I am? Right. Yeah.
Right. That would be fantastic. And not only that, but I have an upcoming trip to Ukraine to deliver some aid and vehicles. So, I've appreciated the support of the sparklers that were in the chat and did hear the announcement I made. So it's very nice to see the support from not only them, but, people from all the other communities that have, reached out and said their good lucks and thank yous and stuff like that. So I appreciate it.
Fantastic. Also, and I feel, hold on, let's see this one right here. Yeah. I feel like we have to, I love that you're here. I hate to interrupt the fun that we're having, but I obviously have to go to our sponsor. We got sponsors here right now, so if you don't mind, I'm going to play our sponsor real quick.
There's one simple pepper trick that anyone can do at home to relieve nerve pain. I've
bag
never admitted
of
this
peppers.
publicly, but
My husband even got worried about how much flab I've been losing. He even asked if I was following some secret diet.
Have you been eating
but it's
worms? No.
just-
Mike Lindell, you're going to court, brother. You're going to court. Tell us about it.
Sorry, I want to jump straight to the deal we're getting on
elections in the world, not the worst. And we are going to get there, Steve, and we're under a timeline
We can't let our president's 4 years be just a blip in history and all for and.
Oh, they're going to be. By the way, we're gonna look back
Are
on this like.
Are those
yeah.
pillows?
Yes, he's selling big America pillows. He's surrounded by a bunch of because then they go into the sales pitch.
Just for the War Room Posse, those Giza Dream Sheets are flagship sheets that you all wanted.
He said flagship. Simmer down.
Any color, $49.98.
He didn't say flab shit. He did not. He said flagship.
Today is
it's been a while though.
Oh yeah, you get a free, totally not smelling like turpentine, like a pillow that will, if you sweat while you sleep, will stain your face with the American flag like a true patriot.
Jesus Christ.
And then it ends with a big pillow fight between him and Steve Bannon. But I can't show it because I got a content strike against revenge porn.
Guaranteed not to make your head pink like Donald Trump's.
right. Like with his weird like slice line. You know, his punk
like
redneck.
What happened with that hairdo today? Like what was going on with that?
Yeah, it was wet.
Somebody missed a spot. Some slim pickings up there today.
It started to like diverge at one point. Like it started to like split and go the other way. And he like, dude, zero cleanup. Like nobody gives a shit. And I think that's the sign. I don't know if you've noticed this as well, but like on all the thumbnails for everybody that we've been watching, that you and I watch on the regular, they've stopped trying to make them look good. If anything, I feel like they're picking the worst shot because fuck this guy. There's either somebody in their staff hates his guts, or they're just like, I don't care, fuck him. Blah. But they're just.
We've been saying that about the producers at Fox for a long time.
Oh
now.
yeah, but
like,
it's spread now.
What's going on here?
It's spread to Newsmax, to Glenn Beck, to Peanut Butter Dickhead, and all those guys. And yeah, so. Did you?
Well, they better change the name of the Golden Dome to the Pink Dome if it's going to continue to look like
if
that.
His hair keeps falling out. Yeah, the peach.
I mean,
dome.
and that's another thing too. This whole Golden Dome nonsense that everybody, that the 25 billion added already to the the bullshit bill there, and then not only that, but none of it makes any sense to me. The math doesn't math.
No,
the amount of missile sites that they're saying that we need doesn't math. I mean, the whole point of a dome is to have the intersecting defense of the missile defense batteries. You know what I mean? You're supposed to, each one covers 60 miles and they're supposed to intersect and overlap so that, so it creates this artificial dome-like apparent, thing.
Well, that's why it works in Israel, because Israel isn't that big and most of the population centers are under that central area. But the United States is fucking gigantic. And did you see
450 times the size of Israel, right? Israel has at least that we know of 10 Iron Dome batteries, right? So just doing the simple math on that, we would need somewhere in the area of 4,500 missile defense batteries scattered throughout the country to be able to cover the the square footage that we need.
These aren't even rocket batteries, because that's the one thing about like the Iron Dome is meant to do these like dumb rockets, the rockets that fly in on the regular, not necessarily ballistic missiles or nukes or whatever that travel that fast. Certainly not hypersonic missiles. It's designed for to bat away conventional warfare for the most part. So we have a similar thing on all of our coasts, anyways. And if we don't have it there, and we see people coming close enough to launch those kind of things, we send submarines and shit over to that area, right? And we've got plenty for all of that air. It's just so fucking dumb. But the dome, when
there's
they show
reasons that we have a small amount of attacks to show against our country, right? There's a lot of reasons for that, not just the location of our country, but also our defenses that people know about. I mean, there's reasons why people don't just fly planes over to the United States and start dropping shit. You know what I mean?
They literally, like terrorists literally had to come over here and take one of our planes to do it. Like, that's how hard it is, right? You couldn't even like if you took control of an airplane, traveling from overseas into the country, it wouldn't have worked. 9/11, right? That's the, somebody saying what happened about you mean mutual assured destruction or Mothers Against Drunk Driving, because you spelled it with 2 Ds. Mutual assured destruction, again, is an umbrella under which Russia can just attack anybody they want, and if you try to stop them, they'll threaten you with nukes. That's what that is. And I would argue Iran wants a nuke for that very reason. Iran, I don't think, wants to nuke anybody because you can't. if you believe in the Palestinian right of return like they say they do, and they want to get rid of Israel and bring everybody back there, you can't nuke the fucking place and make it glow in the dark. Nobody wants the Temple Mount, night vision style, right?
But the math ain't mathing either. Go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead.
No, yeah, I agree about where these things would be, and we already have a similar deterrent. So he's just going to pretend it exists. The other thing too is this is a perfect boondoggle for Trump, because you can have this thing and never need it because nobody's going to attack us like that. Nobody expects an attack like that. So we're going to have cyber attacks. While they're like doing cyber attacks on fucking hospital chains, that's what we have to worry about, not a fucking hypersonic missile. But in the meantime, during his time, he could just throw fucking money all over the place, paying for this thing to get done, and use it as an artificial, to hold up the economy for jobs and investment and all this kind of stuff, using taxpayer funds just for weapons instead of healthcare. Because again, if you took that money and put it in the hands of Americans in terms of consumers, or help them with healthcare or those kind of things, that money would still work its way out into the society and end up helping the economy as well. It's just not macho. It doesn't make his mushroom fucking tip any bigger. And that's the problem for him.
I forgot to say, by the way, I apologize. I have my show right after yours, so I don't have a ton of time. I have to set that up. I've been doing a lot going on for the trip. But I mean, I always thought that companies like Raytheon and the rest of these defense contractors were known as like the deep state to the right. Like I thought these were companies you didn't want to feed billions and billions and billions of dollars into, and like they controlled everything behind the scenes. And the Jews are actually the defense companies.
That was before the election, my friend. You got to, okay, let me show you something. This is a good example. This is a similar kind of a thing. So I'm sure you've seen the peanut butter dickhead guys at Valuetainment, these assholes.
Hey, only $40,000 for a Manect with a pretty big douchebag.
Yeah, right. You can Manect with him, which just sounds
$40,000. $40,000. That's how much he charges for one of these stupid cameo-like things.
Is that technically a stupid tax, and you pay, and you can, hey, if you can take it off your salt, I guess maybe that works. It's the same amount as the salt negotiation. That's why all the right wingers are suddenly, well, I can write off my Manects with peanut butter dickhead. But I want to show you something real quick. This is the top end of this. I think you should be able to hear this just fine. But
last clip I want to play, Rob. If you can play this clip of Dan Bongino and Kash Patel. The two of them, they're sitting there being asked about Epstein. I don't know if you have this clip or not. There's a clip of the two of them. Maybe we'll play this one and then Stephen A. Smith, and we'll wrap it up. Do you know which one I'm talking about, Rob?
I have it right here.
So if you can play this clip. So they're being asked about Epstein, and then Dan answers as well. Go ahead and please. I'm going to get the team's reaction here. Go for it.
You said Jeffrey Epstein committed suicide. People don't believe it.
Well, I mean, listen, they have a right to their opinion, but as someone who has worked as a public defender, as a prosecutor, who's been in that prison system, who's been in the Metropolitan Detention Center, who's been in segregated housing, you know a suicide when you see one, and that's what that was.
Look at I gotta say, buddy, my favorite is fucking Bongino, because he is like, he looks like dinner theater RoboCop. Like they've stretched his fucking face back.
He looks like he sells foreheads.
He's on the showroom.
He looks like a forehead salesman that has to go door to door, that whacks the shit out of that so he can make the best presentation.
No, I have a lease with an option to buy.
Do you want to look just like this?
Yeah. You can bump it yourself.
What do you do? Just go in there and say, yeah, just right down the middle. Can you just give me a line right in the middle?
I don't know. At some point, what must the back of his head look like? Just shave it, right? Everybody's shaving it, you macho dickhead, right? So, but the important thing is, look at this. With eyes wide open, I'm staring at the whatever. But you know he does not want to be asked this question because he told everybody. He lied his ass off to everybody that there's a deep state and they run everything. And then as soon as they get in there, it's fucking straight up like, Epstein killed himself. Like, that's what everybody thinks. Like, they're all.
Did we
freaking
check to see if they've erased all of his past episodes yet?
Oh yeah, right. Just
wipe the file clean of all of his podcasts.
Grumble is a big 404. Watch this. So here we go. Hold on. Let me play this. Let's play it for you. There you go. Hold on.
He killed himself. You want me to? I've seen the whole file. He killed himself.
I know it's hard work.
Well, I guess.
What, killing yourself? All right. So, anyways, this is the important part, though. Their reaction.
Case closed, guys.
Okay, guess what?
I guess we figured it out.
I love Dan Bongino. Dan Bongino looks like he didn't want to. He killed himself. He killed him. I don't
How
know.
much do you believe them, Vinny?
Adam.
Cash
they
Patel.
work for the intelligence
Dan
community.
Bongino. High credibility in your
how about
eyes,
this?
right?
Anything that
What
has to do with the
percentage do you believe
Epstein,
him?
I don't even know what the hell to believe from anybody.
You get the general idea. Like,
He's so
they are.
confused. He's like, I just watched this guy for the last 5 years tell me that there's absolutely something going on behind the scenes. And now he's actually in power telling me there's nothing going on behind the scenes.
Right.
And I just don't know what to make of it.
And there's only two answers. Either he's full of shit or I'm full of shit. And both of them give me the sads.
And it's like, and Trump's the president right now, and that can't possibly align with
He was
this
also the president
anywhere.
when Epstein was arrested, died, and all of the evidence that was taken from the island vanished, right?
Yeah, one more thing.
Yeah. Who was, if you don't mind me asking, this is obviously a question, these little details, they bother me. But good to see you again, Cash. We have the same ophthalmologist. Anyways.
I thought this was an ashtray. I'm sorry. He does that in so many episodes.
Yeah, he
He's
does
just
that.
Flicking a cigar and random shit.
Yeah, but there's no smoking in here. Well, can you save this for me? I've got a thing. The issue, like, either you're an asshole or he's an asshole. This is the only option for these guys. And the idea that they just won't allow themselves to put together that Trump was in office, when Epstein was caught, and he hired Alex Acosta, who gave Epstein his sweetheart fucking deal, right? And then he's back in office, and
Pam
suddenly,
Bondi.
oh yeah,
Pam
Bondi was a part of it.
picture.
Absolutely, puts her in charge of it, and suddenly he was like, yeah, he killed himself. There's nothing to see here.
President.
I gave him all the files. I gave Mr. President, I gave him all the files I had. I have like 5,000 videos and stuff. They've all got to be redacted.
No,
Yeah.
and you know what? It's crazy too,
She
because
reminds
and
me
I'll
of
let
the
you get
chicken
on.
lady
I'll
from
let you get
Kids
on
in the Hall.
the show
Right.
with this. But the fact that even Laura Loomer would go as far as she did to call out Pam Bondi instead of Donald Trump, or not even name Donald Trump, I think says a ton. You know what I mean? It's
more
like
than
they
any.
are
Absolutely.
definitely trying to obfuscate. That way, if somebody has to go down with the ship, it's going to be Pam Bondi and not Donald Trump, right?
But
that
I
way,
gotta
it even lines up with your
really-
theory of putting a woman in charge of something he really doesn't
you want to fail.
succeed.
Yes.
Right.
And I know you got to go. We'll toss over to you. You're going on in about an hour. Yeah.
At 8:30.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, I just
I'll
need to
toss
set
you-
up a few things and get
Understood.
ready. I apologize.
Oh, yes,
I wish I could stay. I wish I could stay longer, but I got
now
so
that
many
it's-
freaking things I need to do.
I know it's a real job. It starts to become a thing.
Well,
man.
not only that, but international travel is a different animal altogether.
Yes, it is.
Than, just
Right.
pop into a different state over here. So
Yeah,
there's a lot of talk to get it wrong. Not only that, but it's a very serious thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I can't obviously get too much into it, but there's a lot on the line. It's not a,
Yeah,
it's not a vacation by any
Yeah.
sense of the imagination.
Mhm.
So.
All right. Well, we love you, brother, and I'm very
I
excited.
appreciate you, man. Thank you so much.
And anytime I'm in LA and you're there doing your show or whatever, or I'm doing mine, we'll meet, halfway or get together and do a co-show or something. That'd be bitchin'.
It should be at least a lot easier now.
Yes.
So
Well, certainly than being on
we have
opposite
that
coasts.
going.
Yeah. I think so. Ever so slightly.
Safe
Whatever
to say
gave you
that. And all right,
idea.
I'll let
All
you
right.
kick me out too, because I've watched your shows.
See,
so
he's a
I
good
know.
man. Ladies and gentlemen, Boston Brian. Give it up for him. Fantastic. There he goes, ladies and gentlemen. It's awesome. All right, see? And that was easy. That was so easy. He's such a pro now. It's fantastic. That's why we love him. There he is. Good night, brain. Sorry, dude. That happens. Brian, a boy they call Brian. So yeah, I was going to show you guys that clip next of a peanut butter dickhead and those guys over at Value Turdment. What are we going to call them? Like, where they're just fucking coping. They're coping. There's so much fucking cope. And they're never gonna, I don't know why I'm talking like Bill Burrell. There's so much cope. They're coping. It's you know what it is? It's Brian's accent. That's what it is. That's this bullshit. They're coping. Why are you doing this? Like you even fucking know, right? So look at this guy trying. I'm doing my Trump fingers. Trying desperately to not let the two synapses in his fucking head, one that contains the name Donald Trump and one that contains the name Jeffrey Epstein, and the synaptic wiring between them that would be the umpteen visuals of them partying together for 25 fucking years. So, yeah.
Anymore. And to be honest with you, killed himself, whatever. I don't, at this point.
86'd himself.
Exactly. Thank you. I don't care. Do you know what I care about?
Yeah, you do care. You have to care. You don't get out that easy. You don't get to cop out, motherfucker. You don't go, I don't know what to believe. You know what? It doesn't even matter. It fucking well does matter. And just because your dudes are suddenly on the take or some shit, because that's what you absolutely fucking think, you don't get to back out of all the shit you were selling this whole time. Tell you what, there's no Hunter Biden laptop. Feel free to fucking at me. There's no laptop. A hard drive floating around with the name laptop is not a fucking laptop. Eat shit. I'm standing by it. And unless you bring me that fucking thing and you can boot that motherfucker up and people can see the files actually are on it, there's no Hunter Biden laptop. Fuck off. I will stand by the... It doesn't even matter if there is a laptop. No, that started out, and my thing even started off as kind of a joke, but now I'm like, it turned out to just be fucking true. But you don't get to fucking walk away from that shit.
Elaine Maxwell and all the people that she knows and all the customers and all the by the way, tens of thousands of hours of Epstein and his people having sex with underage children.
Tens of thousands of hours? Absolutely, Boston Brian, we love you. Thank you. No. Tens of thousands of hours? What the fuck are you talking about? What, are you just trying to give Pam Bondi more fucking time? Also, you can't clear some of that shit right away? If there's 10,000 hours, you can't single in on a couple of thousand hours. Like, hey, which one has people that aren't Jeffrey Epstein? Here's 5 videos that have Jeffrey Epstein in it, and we'll use AI to blank out the other people. Anybody who's not Jeffrey Epstein, outline their body in total black, and that you can absolutely do that now. And then, same thing. And then anybody else, just put those videos up, whoever it is. You can't do that? What do you got? Sorry, are we to believe that there's tens of thousands of hours of Jeffrey Epstein and his buddies, but you'd have to sift through it forever to find somebody you give a shit about? Like, I don't know who that fucking guy is. That's just Trump's buddy who ran a modeling agency. I want to see Bill Clinton or Bill Gates. If it's not one of them, keep sifting. Bullshit.
Where are I want arrests. I want those people. Kill himself, that's okay. We're not stupid. We know what happened. If they say he killed himself, whatever. Maybe they gave him an ultimatum at him. Maybe they're like, hey, listen, we're going to shut the cameras off. You at least better do it.
Yeah, you kill yourself or we're going to kill you. Because he'll totally do that.
It's going to be hell or high.
When we do it, it'll hurt.
For you. So maybe, I don't know. I don't care at this point. I want the customers. I want the people that were at that island. I want the people that...
One of the customers invites you to events at Mar-a-Lago, dipshit.
On those tapes.
Yeah, Chris Doug is saying, what if Epstein is alive? I agree. That's another strong possibility. If you're going to entertain the conspiratorial aspects of it, for me, that's the winning one. That he actually swapped with somebody that they, took out, while he was out and about before they arrested him. He had bags of his own blood taken. They found somebody who looked like him, put a bunch of that dude's blood in there, swap the bodies out. $1 billion will buy you an exit strategy. And if you're worth $12 billion, you can part with one to escape and go have your face redone, right? If it can be done by Rutger Hauer and Nighthawks, it can be done by somebody who's got $1 billion to spend on this. But it doesn't matter anyways, because you don't have to connect Jeffrey Epstein to anything else. All the evidence is there. Whether he's dead or alive, it doesn't quite matter. Trump is in the White House, and they were best friends. Get the fuck out of here.
I'm exposed. This doesn't do anything for me. I don't believe anybody anymore. I don't. I actually don't.
I mean,
that's what I want.
He does. By the way, that's not true.
I think the people want. I think everybody out there wants to know who are the people that were there. If Ghislaine Maxwell is in jail for selling and sex trafficking girls, human beings, where are the customers? You can't arrest Tom for being a drug kingpin and no other arrests are made. It doesn't make any...
I will say it's a bad analogy because drug kingpins, when you arrest them, you don't necessarily bust all the drug users. Stupid. Like, this is how dumb these guys are. They can't even...
This I don't care about. I don't
that
care.
was a close one.
Yeah.
Don't expose me.
Yeah. But
you don't care about that Jeffrey Epstein killed himself?
Adam, because you know what, Adam? We're never going to know. We're not, all the stuff that...
Yeah, we're never going to know. If Bongino and if Bongholio and fucking Kash Patel are doing the deep state line, just count on truth being opaque from now on.
The cameras were off. The guard was gone.
Exactly.
His cellmate was on. I don't care. We're never gonna find out. I want the people that were hooking up with kids.
If I may, I don't want to weigh in on you guys going back and forth.
Please.
But I'm gonna say this: did Hitler kill himself?
Oh, fuck off!
Oh no!
Hours before, somebody else was probably going to do it for him.
Says who?
Probably.
Right?
Yeah.
So did Epstein?
No, not probably.
Hear that? Okay, look, the thing that went down in Florida, you got out of that. There's no getting out of this one. That's it. That's not where it's going. And
one of your main clients is is the president of the United States, and if there's a way to get you out early or on the down low, hidden some way, you probably have a better shot than any human being in history to be like black site removed from the prison and replaced with some dipshit who dies in his cell and then flown to your island so you can gather up some of your shit and then off you go to the fucking Philippines to hide for a decade.
You know what? You got a couple choices here. You know, you're going to get it, or you can take the way out and do it yourself.
Well, there's a lot.
What, and also, what the fuck is that? What do you think this is, a you can't fire me, I quit moment? God damn, these people are stupid. Because again, the only way you could threaten somebody, the only way somebody's ever going to do themselves in this situation is if you go, if you don't do it, we're going to kill your family, members of your family. If you can kill yourself, or we're going to kill them, they're going to, be killed, and you can't do it. You'll never be able to stop us. But if you kill yourself, we'll leave them alone. Now what a trust exercise, because you have to trust that after you do yourself in, that they won't just go ahead with it anyways, as a warning to other people who tried to, broker a deal at some point. So that never works for me. Like I always see that in a movie, and I'm like, why don't you just kill the person that came to tell you that? And then when the mob bosses go, where's our guy? You can go, he never showed up.
People that think that Adolf,
I mean, if you're that terrible,
ended up in Argentina, and as well as a bunch of other Nazis.
Pretty.
Okay, well then
feasible.
Step back from that one.
Great, so maybe Epstein's in Argentina. Sure. Okay, anyways.
I mean, I wasn't there hanging out with the guy. Kanye was, though.
How many cornered serial killers or cornered killers off themselves moments before the police are finally going to come through the door, right? We see that all.
Not as many as you think.
Time. It's the cheap way out for the killer who doesn't want to go to prison and doesn't want to be arrested and doesn't want to be taken alive.
It's also the favorite way of leaving the earth for people who have information on the sex lives of politicians and celebrities.
What you're saying is, Tom, that whether he did it himself or someone else was going to do it, it was inevitable.
Yes, that's what I think. That's what I think. And there are other people out there that seem to think that. So could Kash And
who cares what they think?
And Bongino, both are friends of the podcast. We talk to them, just full disclosure. But, you know.
Of course you do, asshole. So you're on the hook. That's the reality of it, dumb fuck. You're on the hook. You don't get to jettison this talking point or distance yourself from it. These are your buddies. You sucked up to these motherfuckers. You told everybody that they were going to come in there and clean fucking house. They're basically going to shut down the FBI. Fuck all this nonsense. And they're going to release all this stuff on day one, right?
Are they speaking the truth about it? Yeah, I'd like to think that both of those guys that we think highly of are speaking the truth. However, in speaking the truth, it's okay. Why did he do it at that time? And then it sure seems pretty convenient that cameras go off and the things changed in the detention.
Yeah, the people who said kill yourself or we'll kill you wanted him to have privacy. Why wouldn't, if they're like kill yourself or we'll kill you, and the point is to have people see him kill himself, why wouldn't you want the evidence that he did it if you didn't do it? This is so fucking dumb. But this is what happens when you try to cope about this shit. This is the problem that they have. This is all this thinking, all of it, is simply to mask the, holy shit, Trump was Epstein's best friend.
Those cameras were off. The guard moved. The roommate went to another cell. There's some things.
The roommate. Yeah, it was the weirdest episode of Perfect Strangers ever.
Happened there that you know aren't explained, and say, okay, guys, that's it. But what about the rest of your police investigation, Cash? I'd like to hear that. Okay, what about the rest of the circumstances that went down with the guards, with the cameras, with everything else? What about the rest of the circumstances, even though you and Bongino were saying, we've seen the pictures, we've seen the file, we're looking in there, that is a suicide.
All right, well, if you've seen the pictures and you've seen the file, how did they communicate kill yourself or we'll kill you? Was there somebody with a fucking Aldous lamp and he could see him out his prison fucking window and they were like going, clack, 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 with a fucking light? And he was like, slow down, I'm a little rusty. ... dash, ... dash, ... dash. Lick your surf or we'll lick you. Well, hello. Clack, clack, clack. Oh, not lick. Oh, I see. I got the letters back. Sorry. Dash, I always get my L's and my K's mixed up. Kill yourself or will... Oh. Clack, 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 clack. When? Right.
Signs of struggle. I
promise to kill myself on my deathbed. How's that?
On that. Okay, what about everything else? I want to see the full explanation.
Yeah, it seems highly questionable. By the way, do you know who weighed in on this whole Epstein thing was Elon Musk. Do you have that clip, Rob?
Oh, they play the clip of him and Cutter, saying, how dare Bill Gates question me when he hung out with Epstein or something.
Right. Yeah, Vinny just texted it.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, this is weird. Did you see this?
Yeah.
I do.
By the way, Elon Musk introduced Mark Zuckerberg to Jeffrey Epstein at a party. Mark Zuckerberg has met Jeffrey Epstein all of one time at a party for a bunch of billionaires, and he was introduced to Jeffrey Epstein by Elon Musk. For the record.
I want to ask you about...
according to people who were at the party.
USA.
And Mark Zuckerberg.
And the comments that Bill Gates made the other day, which and I know that you called him...
Yeah, he's a huge liar.
I know, you've said that already.
He says he's a huge liar, by the way.
Oh, huge liar.
I wondered...
Also,
and I'm just...
Who does Bill Gates think he is to make comments about the welfare of children, given that he frequented Jeffrey Epstein?
Okay, well...
Wow, applause break.
He said he regrets those, and
I wouldn't trust that guy to babysit my kids.
I wouldn't trust him to babysit my kids. Of course you wouldn't.
Around the world over the years. My question to you is: have you looked at the data to check if he might be right that the cuts to USAID might cost millions of lives?
Yes. I'd like him to.
No, he hasn't.
Any evidence whatsoever that is.
I do.
So that's the cut. That it's a loop. They're playing it off of Twitter or something.
But you notice her, she's like, yeah, but he helped so much. The Melinda Gates and all that, brother, they're shutting that down, aren't they, Rob? The
Dan
Melinda Gates.
Bongino and Kash Patel.
He's going back to it. You tried to sidestep it, but you're not going to get around it. One last thought. And by the way, CSL, I got to tell you, brother, grabbing the still of this asshole, which nothing sums up like. It's not good. Better than that. Just harump. So.
The energy was very different pre-getting in the job.
Yes, sir.
You're so close. They're so close. They're so close to it.
Versus once they got the job.
Mm-hmm.
So.
What does that tell you? They talked a big game, and then they got in there, and now they sound exactly like the deep state. So again, Occam's razor. There's one of two possibilities. They're lying assholes, or you're a gullible dipshit who might also be a lying asshole. I don't want to take that away from you.
It's either they find out who's holding who hostage. It's either they put stuff in front of them to say, here's what we have on you.
Right. Okay. So Dan Bongholio and Kash Patel are being blackmailed into not telling the truth about Epstein's death by someone with more power than them? I mean, wouldn't they just go to Trump and go, hey, these people are fucking with us, send in SEAL Team 6 or something?
I think that's the one, but that's the second thing.
Why don't you think that's the one? Oh, because they'd have to be as skeevy as Trump. I see.
It's either they realize they need that to be able to control assets. Other people are holding the people in the White House hostage. Or...
Jesus Christ. So now Trump is hostage. Or you guys could just be gullible dipshits. You bought it. You fucking bought it. Because you wanted to. You served yourself up, you lazy bastards.
They're just telling the truth.
Yep.
And you have to believe it. And the last one is the fact that they may have given them weapons and said, kill yourself. So forever they could say they...
Weapons? You mean paper sheets?
Killed himself. To categorically make it right that they're not lying. But he didn't kill himself. You know, it's a different kind of a situation, you know, that he was in.
No, we don't know. No one knows what the fuck you're talking about.
But, Adam, your thoughts here, and then we'll move on to the last story.
I like how you kind of gave the options here. I filtered it down to two options. Number one, it is the truth, or at least it's truthiness, right? That he...
Jesus Christ.
Offed himself. Or number two, which I actually think is way more likely, is that there's a big difference between talking about what you're going to do when you get to the job versus actually seeing what the hell's going on behind the scenes when you get the job as the FBI director. So
What? Sorry, how would that apply to this? That applies to like talking a big game about who you're going to prosecute maybe, and then it turns out you don't have the evidence. And when you got in there, you actually looked at the files, like, oh, I see. Okay, they didn't file because you're going to lose this part of the evidence because of the warrant, so we're trying to build a longer case, and that just takes a while and all that kind of... Like, that's not what this is. This is you ran on being sure about something, and you were absolutely not. So you were lying about how sure you were, and then when you got in, you flip-flopped entirely.
Never had the opportunity to be the FBI director. I know you chat GPT'd like what qualifications on a daily basis.
Wait, he chat GPT'd the qualifications for what it is to do the job of FBI director? Why didn't you call Kash? Oh, because he doesn't know.
You're going to see things that you never thought you would see. And you're going to see people's names that you never thought you would see. And some of those people may be presidents or billionaires or foreign dignitaries.
We all knew that, though. Especially when it comes to Epstein. What he means is some of those people might be presidents, like the current sitting president. That's the problem.
And they're going to say, listen, yeah, you might expose this name with Jeffrey Epstein, but you also might bring down half the world. So what do you want to do? In my opinion, when they get this job, they see things that they didn't think that they would see, and we
just got to trust them. They see things and they get threatened with it. And the thing that they saw was not the file that they believe shows that he killed himself, and they believe it, or that they're lying to us because they're not being blackmailed, but because if they tell who really killed Epstein, people will realize that happened during Trump. And if they figure out who actually did it, it will lead back to Trump possibly. And then Trump will go, so what? I'm president. I can have somebody killed. I viewed him as a enemy of the state. And that's that.
Yeah, he definitely killed himself. Okay, moving on. That's my opinion.
We got a special.
Fuck these guys. And then this is the part where he like sells future looks bright wear.
Merch drop today with these.
God damn, this is so weird. I like my merch. I don't push it nearly as hard as I should, but this is like, we got to get about 1 million people wearing this, wearing the future looks bright shirt.
4 states, if you want to play this clip, we have officially 4 hats.
Wow. And
yeah, representing
4 hats.
Florida, California, Texas, and New York. What's wild about the...
Oh, okay. You mean the states that matter? Can you get a fuck Arkansas hat? Apparently that's what you think. So no flyover states, I guess. Thank God it's not the coastal elites running everything right now.
4 states is, I lived in California for 24 years, longest I ever lived in a state. I lived in Texas for 5 years.
Oh, Jesus Christ. These are limited edition. Is that what it's supposed to be? There's only going to be 250 of them? Great. So you'll have a box with 249 in your fucking basement?
In Florida for 4 years, and we own the minority owners of New York Yankees. So there is something going on with each of these 4 states, and it happens to be the top 4 states that we have here. These hats will go like this, okay?
Oh, my God. Yeah, hat printer go burr.
Because they're limited. We don't have a big supply of them.
Yeah, why would you?
The Florida one is going to sell out in minutes like it always does. Why? Because it is numbered 1 out of...
Because it's sunny.
50, and when you order those, they come in this box.
Oh, my God. Fucking... It's like maggot QVC. The Home Shitting Network. Ugh. Yeah. Florida man. Right. Yeah, I'm not doing it. Chat room, I'm not. I don't care. What's up with maggots and hats? I don't think they like the tops of their heads. I think they're embarrassed by the top of their head. I think that's really what's up. No question. Now I can, let's see. I got one more thing. I want to show you something. Where's this one? Oh yeah. So, I saw this and I was like, oh, okay, well, this is something we got to take very seriously, kids. And I may have extras. Did I grab the other one? Yes, I did. I was like, oh, these guys are, the title of it sounds like things are going just fine for the Republicans. And we'll talk about Jared Connolly on Saturday on the radio show this week. But I was very sad of his passing. He was 75 years old. He's had cancer for a bit. I saw this, like the House Freedom Caucus. It said, breaking news, House Freedom Caucus offers encouraging news for passing reconciliation bill. Now, how many people think that A, it's not encouraging, and that the only reason they put that is because someone uses the word encouraging? You'd be right. Here we go.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Chairman, one up front.
Can you please move up?
Thank you. Thank you all. To the microphone. Look, we are greatly encouraged.
Yep, it's encouraging. Look, we're encouraged. We have so much courage.
By the progress that's been made in the last 24 hours. Obviously,
Obviously, the assault stuff we're very much against.
Came here yesterday, and he laid out a few things. He said, don't go any further on SALT. He said, oh, by the way, eliminate waste, fraud, and abuse in Medicaid. That's fine. That's what the American people expect. And then he said, by the way, we have to eliminate the Green New Scam. So in the last 24 hours, well, there was a little SALT deal made.
In the last 24 hours, very encouraged by the shit that actually went poorly. I mean, the president came over and told us to do what we were already doing and then fucked up everything.
I don't think it went in the right direction. But the White House offered a proposal late last night that I think fulfills the other two parts of what the president talked about. And there's broad agreement in the House Freedom Caucus that if that's included in the package, I think this package is en route to get passed. I don't think it can be done today. I mean, the runway is short today. The leadership is going to have to figure out, where to go from here. But I think progress is made. I think that there is a pathway forward that we can see.
There is a pathway forward that we can. Nice body language there.
But again, the leadership will have to figure out, what the time frame of this is. As you know, I've come and I've spoken to several of you in the past few days and said, I'm not sure this can be done this week. I'm pretty confident it can be done in 10 days. But that's up to leadership to decide.
As far as I know, Mike Johnson was planning on bringing up a vote tonight.
We just want to emphasize.
And he doesn't have the votes from the Freedom Caucus. They're not going to vote for it.
Want to deliver the president's agenda. The bottom line is, he said, end waste, fraud, and abuse in Medicaid, which is a hugely popular issue with the American people.
And doesn't do anything towards the lowering of the deficit, which is crucial to getting the tax cut passed. Asshole.
And he said, end the Green New Scam, which is hugely popular with the American people who are watching their energy bills go up as our deficit goes up. And they wonder how in a world where we have all the energy resources we have, gas, oil, how in the world are our energy bills going?
I'll tell you how. Because we have a maximum output of about 18 million barrels a day. Right now we're at 13, which is the highest ever, thanks Joe Biden. And we use about 20 already. So if we don't bring that down a little bit, even if we were just drilling like fucking crazy and just allowing them to put a well anywhere they think there's oil, we still wouldn't produce enough to bring it down below the amount we use. So you can only get lower prices. You can only, raise the supply and lower the demand by curtailing ICE cars, internal combustion engines. That's the only way. But you're not going to do any of that, so the consumption is going to go through the roof. And so what you're allowing for by removing the CAFE standards, by removing the electric car subsidies and all that kind of stuff, you're just going to put more gas cars on the road while you're trying to raise the output. And you're never, they'll always outrun each other.
We're going to try to help solve that for the American family. So with that, if any of my colleagues want to make a statement.
And this is where it gets really encouraging. Good old Chip Roy, who, I know I'm looking scruffy, but shaved his cheeks but not his neck.
So the legislation that we've got right now has made significant progress to advance the president's agenda. And that's what we're doing. We're trying to sit at the table. We're going to work with our colleagues, work with the White House to continue to deliver what the president campaigned on and what we all campaigned on.
Which are at odds right now.
My good friend from Maryland just said, the president yesterday laid out some real clear terms, and we're working to achieve those.
Aren't we limited by the refining capability? Yes, we are. Absolutely. That's why I'm saying you have to curtail usage or you'll never reach that point.
Working last night with the White House to achieve those and working with our colleagues today to deliver on what the White House put forward.
See what I mean? Like he missed his neck entirely. Like he shaved his cheek and then he just kind of, because I think if you're shaving like this kind of stuff, I don't have enough of it in to see, but you should shave up to your neck right here, unless you're just going to go full beard or something. But if you're going to do a goatee, the rest of it's got to be pretty fucking tidy, I would think.
As a good faith effort to deliver on those objectives. Look, and just on a personal note, 14 years ago, I was diagnosed with cancer. And one of the reasons I ran for Congress was to deal with our very badly broken healthcare system.
You wanted to break it more.
Today, there are millions of Americans right now who can't get health care because of our broken system.
No, because you guys limit and tighten the rules around Obamacare so much that it guarantees about 13 million people can't get it. And you want to increase that.
Wait lists. The vulnerable Americans are on wait lists because we've got a broken system that rewards the able-bodied over the vulnerable.
He's talking. This is their work requirements for Medicaid, Medicare, and these kind of things, and saying that there are a bunch of people you can walk and your arms work, so you can flip pancakes. You shouldn't be able to get Medicare or Medicaid.
More money to people on Medicaid than on Medicare. We are trying to fix those things and match those so we have a system that works. That's what we're trying to do. We're trying to deliver so that the people who are actually out there working hard can actually get the health care that they want to get, that they can get, and get it the best way possible. That's what this is all about, changing a broken system.
No, it's not. You guys ran on fiscal conservatism. We can't afford this. We're all going to be broken in 5 years, and we're going to bankrupt the country, and people just got to eat shit. And if it means some people have to go without medical care, they got to suck it up for America. That's what you guys ran on.
Making sure we're saving taxpayer dollars and being able to provide a better environment for people to be able to thrive in their families. Lord. So we're going to work with the president today. We're going to work with our colleagues to deliver, but there's a long way to go. I want to be very clear. We've got to deliver on what we're talking about, or we're not going to be able to get the bill done.
Okay, does it, I do see a small problem in that no one knows what the fuck you're talking about.
That's what we're trying to achieve.
That's exactly right. The White House reached out to us with, look, it's not perfect. No bill ever is. We understand that. We reckon.
Excuse me, it's beautiful, which is better than perfect.
To have more, but we recognize we've got a big conference in a big country, and that the Democrats aren't going to help us. The Democrats want to see the taxes go up. The Democrats want the status quo in the failed health care system. We accepted the.
Why don't you test them? Why don't you run the the most favored nations thing on drugs as a separate bill? See if they vote for it. That'd be a good test to see if they actually do want the status quo, I think, right? They'd have to put their money where their mouth is, and you just offer that up and go, hey, this is just a thing where, you know, Medicare, Medicaid can negotiate for the price of drugs, and that America should be able to receive drugs at a competitive price, even if it means that foreign countries, their price goes up a little bit, ours comes down a lot, and we could even that part of it. Why don't you just take that bill, if it's that important to you, and it's a must pass and you need it and it must happen, why don't you just put that on the floor tonight? By itself. Why does it have to be part of this big bill that you're trying to crowbar through? If you really care about those things, I think it shows that you don't actually care about those things, because you're willing to avoid all those other things by putting, you used to say bills had a poison pill in them. This is the exact opposite. This thing has like one functional calorie and the rest of it's poison ivy.
White House's offer last night, unfortunately, it's not yet codified in this agreement. We need to.
What were you guys doing all night?
We need to continue to work at that. We as members are at the table. We don't want the deal to be ended. This is an arbitrary deadline. If today comes and goes, it doesn't mean that this possibility to make sure that taxes stay low and that we fix America's healthcare system and fix America's energy system, it doesn't mean that prospect is off the table.
Yeah, you assholes.
Means it might not happen today, and it's important that everybody knows that, because there's
we know it's not going to happen today. Yeah, we know. Yeah. And I'm glad, because it gives everybody another day to call their senator or call their congressperson and go, what the fuck?
Kind of belief in Washington D.C. that once today comes and goes, that this cannot be fixed. This is a completely arbitrary deadline set.
Yeah, Mike Johnson, you asshole.
By people here to force people into a corner to make bad decisions.
By the way, have you ever heard Democrats have to talk about this with a bill or a reconciliation package that they were putting together? Have you ever seen a group of Democrats, including the squad, have to come out after days of back and forth about a bill or especially a budget and be like this fucking mad? Ever.
It's more important to get this right, to get it correct, than to get it fast. And we are sitting at the table.
Here. Yes. Get it right. Right wing. Get it right.
To do that.
And for the bill to move off of the floor, these issues have to be addressed. I want to be.
There you go. You got to address what the Freedom Caucus wants, because there's none of these guys are moving, and there's fucking whatever 18 of them or 22 of them, and all of them are voting in lockstep. And if they want something, then the guys who want the SALT stuff, are going to get pissed if they get what they want. And so you got a group of 30 against a group of 22, and you can't afford to lose but like 4. So you're kind of fucked.
Very clear, right? And that has to be addressed today, tomorrow, whenever we get to it, but it has to be done right, like my friend from Pennsylvania said.
So if
if this comes to the floor today, you're going to vote no to move ahead both on the rule and on the bill. Is that correct? You're going to vote no?
Yeah, well, we're not there yet. The bill's not on the floor.
You say if this comes to the floor, we have yet not seen this.
Yeah, dummy. Yeah, what's going to come to the floor? Have you seen it? Where is it?
And we don't have a minute. You don't know what this is yet.
The speaker wants.
Yeah, so we can't vote on what it is. We don't even know what it is yet, even though the speaker said they're going to vote on it tonight. Asshole.
Pass this tonight.
Well,
so
then we should get busy working to get it done. We want to get it done too.
But you're saying it will not pass tonight if it comes to the floor.
It is not ready yet, but we got to see the language.
What are the terms of this agreement with the White House? What are the terms of it?
Well, look, broadly, the president came and...
Broadly. Yeah, we know there aren't any specifics, dum-dum.
We need to end waste, fraud, and abuse in Medicaid. And that's what we believe that the agreement, and, look, we're not going to get into specifics of it. We think that will help end waste, fraud, and abuse in Medicaid and also bend the out-of-control spending trajectory.
Bend that trajectory, right?
Ending waste, fraud, and abuse. And I don't think many Americans disagree with that.
No, not at all. The problem you have is it's about like $60 billion a year, and it won't go anywhere near carving, like packing in that hole in the deficit that you guys are bitching about. So I don't even know why you fucking bring it up.
The component is in the setting of rising energy costs. Look, energy costs have gone up 30 to 40%. Where's energy costs supposed to be going down in this country? We have more energy than anybody else in the world. This green new scam is...
So maybe talk to the oil companies and the gas companies, I guess?
Working. It's making our grids unreliable. We want to make sure that we can deliver affordable energy to all Americans. Those are the two major components, both of which are totally consistent.
And when the president,
totally consistent with what the president's doing. Okay, we're going to work it out. We're going to totally work it out. Also, can I point out the fact that you could put this in a separate thing? I don't even know why your repeal. A lot of this is the problem they're having is trying to make this one big bill because they could pass along party lines this repeal of the Green New Scam in their mind. But the problem is if they do that, they're going to cut all the subsidies that have gone to a shit ton of red states because Biden's fucking brilliant. And he put in a bunch of these like battery plants and other places, and gave subsidies for building electric car dealerships in these red states. And if you take away the Green New Scam, they're fucked. They're the ones pushing back on it.
Said end the Green New Scam, he didn't mean leave 40 to 45 to 50% of the subsidies ongoing. So we're working to continue to scale that back.
So what's
Yeah, but why wouldn't the rest of your party want to get rid of those extra 45? Oh, I understand. I'll tell you why. You want to know why? Because Marjorie fucking Taylor Greene has had 3,000 new jobs in the entire time she's been in her district that she's added to the voting rolls or the employment rolls in her district. And they were all for an electric car battery plant. So if you repeal that, the secondary subsidies who are helping that get off the ground are going to go away. And so will those jobs in Marjorie Taylor Greene's district. And so she will have presided over a flush of jobs that came because of a bill from a Democratic president and then went away before she left office because of her management. As soon as the guy she cheered on got into office and her party took over, they fucked that factory out of existence. That's what's going to happen.
What?
And by the way, it won't take time. It will happen incredibly quickly. It'll be months.
Specifically, are you asking for?
What is the easiest thing that the speaker could give you right now, specifically, that would get you to a yes?
We're not going to negotiate this through, you guys. I mean, you guys.
There is no quick thing. There's like 9 elements. That's the thing. They're nowhere near signing this thing.
Issues we put them out there, and we're sitting at the table to work through them. But you guys know the issues that
we're at the table, way down here the whole time.
Concerned about the abuse, the waste, fraud, and abuse in Medicaid, the scam that is going on, the money laundering, where we've got 90%.
Y'all agreed to the levels of ENC. The ENC has exceeded those levels in Medicaid. Y'all agreed to those when y'all voted for the budget in February. Why now are y'all moving the goalposts?
Oh shit! Why y'all moving the goalpost?
You want to put it in terms of
the premise of the statement is not correct.
ENC met the levels that y'all voted for in February and March.
We're in the process of assembling 11 bills that just last week were finalized, and our final opportunities.
Why don't you pass? Hey, dum-dum. Why don't you pass 11 fucking bills then? if you got 11 bills, why you got to slap them all into one thing and get them all passed if you have the House, the Senate, and a mandate, and the presidency, and the Supreme Court? Why you got to throw them into one thing, you lazy motherfuckers, so you don't have to work on everything else? Maybe you could just put one of them up there, vote on the motherfucker, and then, yeah, exactly, Ali Osher, a reporter asking a real question.
Tweak and improve and solidify our intentions that were written in.
Yeah, it's a good time. What time do you want? Hey guys, what time do you want to solidify our intentions? Huh? Well, we got. I got about an hour before dinner. We could solidify our intentions, and then we could get a bite to eat, and then we could come back and codify our ideas into a structured plan for expression. Oh, okay, cool. Can you excuse me? I'm going to go fuck myself.
Those bills is through the Budget Committee and the Rules Committee, where managers' amendments can be written to tweak, improve, and solidify the.
That's right. So we need about 2 hours to tweak and solidify. I don't know what. I know how to solidify the tweaking stuff. You're going to have to ask Matt Gaetz about that.
And the agenda of the President of the United States and conservatives within the House and the Senate, by the way. So we're in the midst of those final.
By the way, who let Snow White in? I'm just saying. All right.
Stages, gentlemen, of working through.
She's like she's waiting for an elevator at a Forever 21, going, who the fuck are these people? These guys all smell like Old Spice. Can somebody get me the fuck out of here?
Rules Committee with manager's amendment, and the details remain unrevealed, but we're at the table working those details.
But you guys are being very.
Yeah, we're working on the unrevealed details right now. Okay, you can't even see it. All right, understand this. We got to tweak and roll. That's how I like to call it. And then what we're going to do is we're going to work on the details that have as yet not been told to us, but we're already working on what those details will be when they aren't told to us in a timely fashion so that we can address them in the codification of our concepts. Does anyone else smell almonds?
General, can you be specific to tell the...
No, we can't. Let him say waste, fraud, and abuse and go home.
Like, what exactly you're asking for? Are you asking for changes to FMAP? Do you want more energy? Yeah, but that's very, very general, waste, fraud, and abuse. Specifically, what are you asking for?
No, waste, fraud, and abuse. It's waste and fraud and abuse. It's not like three things. It's one thing. Waste, fraud, and abuse is like one. It's like all together. You can't just go after the waste. What kind of an asshole would do that? You go to waste and then you're left over with fraud and abuse. You're going to do that? No, we want to get rid of all the waste, fraud, and abuse. And of course, defined as we see fit in details that have as the gentle something from the tree in Texas said.
I don't understand how that.
But I mean, you want FMAP changes? Are you demanding that there be changes to that, or are you demanding that the IRA tax credits all be phased out immediately?
We demand that waste, fraud, and abuse.
Oh, you lazy fuck.
Be addressed in Medicaid. It's inadequately addressed in the current bill, and we believe that as much of the Green New Scam should be eliminated as is possible.
As much as is possible. So you're okay with 45% of it sticking around, like the electric car mandate and all those kind of things, because it helps Elon Musk in your red districts.
Let me address the goalpost nonsense.
Yeah. Okay, sister. Let me tell you something about. Look, you're going to throw that around at us. Let me tell you, the very premise of your question is... Let's party like we're moving Clubs and dongs and best of thongs. Whoa, I love that feeling. Super hoods have got the goods. Owie, owie, oh. Clubs and dongs and best of thongs. Whoa, I love that feeling. Hoods have got the goods. Oh, oh. Boing, boing, dooby-doo. You know what I wanna do. Yay! Boing, boing, dooby-doo. You know what I wanna do. Basta. So, in all seriousness, I'm not making any implications. about anyone who's speaking. I'm just trying to lighten the mood in the middle of this ridiculousness. Okay.
Working within.
By the way, I'm looking forward to the Queer as Folk reunion for Pride on the 12th. Please show up, and I may or may not bring a copy of that song with me. I might have to walk in with a giant boom box, just fucking banging that out. If they give us intro music, if they give us intro music, ladies and gentlemen, Hal Sparks played Michael Novotny, bring him out here. I'm gonna do it. I'm not afraid. Yeah. Anyways, okay. Back to this.
Goalposts.
You voted for UNC's levels.
Whoa, excuse me. Can I answer the question?
The guy's question, by the way, was, you voted for these Medicaid levels in January or some shit, and now what's the difference? What do you want that's different? You voted with the majority before. What in this one do you insist on voting for or whatever? And what's the big change? What was wrong then? Why aren't you re-voting for those things now? If that's what they want to have in there and you were okay with them then, why are you not okay with them now? That's what he's asking. It's a standard reporter question, and it's a good one. It's not a big deal, but these guys are looking at him like he writes for Mike Johnson's personal newsletter.
Or you just want to filibuster?
You can talk. I'm just asking.
No. You're a filibuster.
He's a contrary fella, and he's not asking these questions just to ask them. And when I say ask them, I mean ask them. All right.
You're not very smart.
We are working.
Ouch! Oh! Ow! Good. Well, I guess you pull it out of your head. That's brutal. I bet you don't know a thing or two about a thing or two.
Deep in the details.
We're working within the goalposts.
We are. We're not moving the goalposts. We've got goalposts. Okay, these are my goalposts. Okay, all right. This is my church, and this is the steeple. Open the doors, and there's all the people. Okay, we understand that. Hooty hooty hoo. The important thing is that I've got two goalposts here. Who wants to sit on one? Let me, as an example. Don't be afraid. Just cop a squat. We're ready to go. This is going to be fun. Fun for me, fun for you, fun for everybody. Yes, I can keep making my fingers move like this all night. I'm not worried about it at all.
We're not saying we need to move the amount of cuts up, because goodness knows we moved the amount of spending yesterday with the SALT agreement. We're saying work within the goalposts.
Which they expanded the goalposts, and we want to tighten the goalposts. So we are moving them. We're moving them back to where they were before other people moved them out, which is a problem.
Arrange it within the goalposts in accordance with what the president wants. End waste, fraud, and abuse in Medicaid, which is wasting dollars that should be spent on the truly vulnerable. And then.
So you're not going to get rid of that money. You're just going to move it. Again, this is the most fucked up part. You're not even saving the fucking money, dummy. You're not cutting anything. We're going to cut all this out of Medicaid and Medicare. What are you going to do with the money? Give it back to the taxpayer? Is that going to go to, shore up the tax cut? Oh, fuck no. We're going to spend it elsewhere. Well, then you're not cutting anything. You're just moving it around.
End as much of the Green New Scam as possible.
I don't think that's what it was. I don't think Trump said end the Green New Scam as much as possible.
But Mr. Chairman, the president and the speaker say you've gotten what you've asked for. You're saying they're wrong.
What? They didn't say that. No. Nuh-uh. What?
The White House last night.
Nobody said that. I didn't say that. If I said that, I'd be wrong. And of course I wouldn't say that. I know that. I mean, I wouldn't say that. Why would you say something like that? I wouldn't say that. This is not something I would say. Who would even... I mean, you said that. Obviously, I just heard you say it. You asked me as a question. You said it. I know that was a question, but that doesn't mean... I know what you're saying. I know what you meant to say. So obviously, this was your idea. Why don't you explain it? You just said it. Why don't you tell me what it means? Why don't you do that? It's not my problem. It's not, why would I even think that? All right, sorry.
Last night, the White House last night sat down with us to address the concerns that we're talking about.
Isn't that nice? Did you sit on their knee? Was it cozy? Did you feel beloved?
This was very clear about what we're working on together to actually deliver on what the Chairman Harris, just talked about. And we're talking about specifics, man. I mean, what we're talking about here, you know the issues, you know the levers, right?
Yeah, but he's reporting them to the people, so he wants you to say it because it's your fucking bill. You know what these things are. I don't have to explain them to you. I don't have to tell you what... Obviously, you know, like you tell me some of the details and stuff, and I'll nod if you're in the... I'll say, are you getting hot or cold? Well, warmer, cold. Anyways, we got to go.
We've been very public about this. There's been articles written. Some of you have written some actually reasonably honest articles.
Aw.
The extent to which you're having 7 times more money going to the able-bodied than the vulnerable. We're trying to fix that. We're trying to fix a system that is corrupt, so there's a money laundering machine where dollars go from red states and responsible, hardworking Americans to go to blue states like California to give money to people who are illegal.
Never happens.
Who are able-bodied. We want...
No. Sorry. Red states get more federal tax dollars than they give. Always. Every time. There's no idea that like blue states are giving illegals money, and that's it. You know, that even charts with the overall cost you're dealing with.
Fix that. That's what we're trying to address. And on the goalpost moving, that's utter nonsense.
Yeah, asshole.
The matter is, this has massive savings in the out 5 years, and it has massive deficits in the first 5 years. Because
massive savings in the out 5 years, massive deficits in the first 5 years. That's right. So Trump can spend like a drunken sailor, and then when he leaves office, everybody else is left holding the bag. And that includes these guys, because after Trump leaves, he's going to go fucking make deals in Qatar and live a life of luxury, and his kids are going to live off the fucking graft they created during their time in office. And these guys are going to be left fighting for scraps amongst what's left of like maggot barter town.
We're not addressing the structural reforms that we're talking about right here.
Yeah, jerk.
Including very specifically eliminating the 45% of the subsidies under the Green New scam that continue. So that's what we're talking about. We're not moving goalposts. We want to save money. We want to save as much money as we can. But we want to do it the right way to deliver for hardworking Americans who are getting left behind by government here, Republican and Democrat, who keep spending money we don't have, racking up massive amounts of debt, driving up inflation so Americans can't afford homes, the Moody's bond rating gets dropped, and people are getting left behind. No.
I don't know. It sounds like they're very confident in their current leadership, and I think they feel like this bill's going to pass pretty easily, and that they're confident about the content and the function of the bill is going to, you know, it's everything they wanted and more. Do you think this is the conversation these assholes thought they would be having about their budget in their own caucus fucking 5 months ago? You think? What an asshole.
Now's the time for transformative reform. We're going to work with the White House to deliver it.
Bye. We're going to work to deliver it. Bye. I'm going to fucking quick. Get out of here before they ask us any goddamn details. Shut up. All right. Gonna go to this. Hold on. Back to the chat room because you guys are lovely. Boink, boink, boink. Dooby doo.
The American
flag pillow. Sorry, 1 second. Did you guys see that Nancy Mace showed nude pictures of herself in Congress? It's images. Go look it up if you want to or whatever. It's blurred out, but her ex did like revenge porn stuff. You'd think the Take It Down Act would have, you know, been the right time for this, but she showed images from the video that she found on his phone and that kind of stuff. And I would argue that yes, it's crazy. Let me do this. I'm no fan of Nancy Mace. Don't like her. Think she's a bigot and an asshole. However, one of my, I don't even know if I'd call it a blind spot, but one of my lines is when someone is the victim of sexual abuse or sexual assault, I give them a wider berth to be an asshole or to deal with their stuff how they see fit, and it doesn't necessarily have to be healthy. Yeah, I think she's ill. I think she's got real issues, right? And it has to do with the fact that it seems like she was like sexually assaulted by multiple men during her relationship and around it, and they filmed her without her consent and all that kind of stuff. If any of that is true, and I'm one of these assholes who believes women until there's evidence to the contrary, at least to the point where they can bring charges, I think that's healthy. And I agree she's nuts, but I think the root of it might be that it came from this stuff. Now, so she says, but no proof. No, well, the idea is that she's showing images that were taken, she says, without her consent, of her changing, and it was other women as well. The point is, that's my standard. It doesn't mean I'm going to tell people to vote for what she wants or anything else. It won't matter. But when people go through that kind of stuff, it's why I don't tend to jump on her with both feet the way I would Marjorie Taylor Greene or something like that. I just mostly let it slide because it's very noisy and bullshitty. But like, yeah, she needs help. The woman needs help. Yeah, and I don't think she's worked through her trauma. And I think I don't expect someone who's been sexually assaulted to tell the truth and all the time or deal with their stuff in an even-keeled way because of what happened. That's just my thought. Okay, so we're going to raid Boston Brian right now. Can I show you one little screen before I do? And this is fun. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Glenn Beck's thumbnail about Glenn Beck slams the GOP over big, beautiful bill fight. Do the right thing. I'm just saying, it's not going well. All right, I'm going to let you guys go. Thank you so much. Take care of yourselves and take care of somebody else. And I will see you guys tomorrow afternoon. Yeah. Take care of yourselves and take care of somebody else. I insist. Okay. And, I mean, I can do the raid or CSL. Do you want to do it? Hold on. Bring this up here. Send everybody over there. Yeah, I'll raid him right now. Got it. Be back tomorrow. Hang in there. I'm going to send you guys over to Boston Brian.
Don't be shy. Subscribe now or blink and cry.
Getting ready to go. We'll throw in a Sparks raid. There we go. You have successfully raided Boston Brian. Excellent. All right. Thank you guys. Love you. Take care. Thanks for the subs. Thanks for the... Oh, look at you guys. Appreciate it. And don't forget, Friday night, got a comedy show for all of our Patreon folks in Burbank. If you're there live, come see me. Uh-huh. If you got Venmo, maybe buy me a cup of coffee. Just take a picture of that with your phone and then use Venmo and support the show that way.